Never would I compromise my integrity. Never would I compromise 28 years in law enforcement for a few folk who couldn't stand to be held accountable. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again. So I'm going to the Bible when I say this to my haters.
What's up, haters?
F you.
F you. In the Bible?
The same
F you is in the Bible?
Who said in that report that they changed their numbers, and I did not. The report is very clear. I did not direct anyone. You should investigate those folks.
Damn.
Never.
You guys know who this is? This is the police chief that got fired or whatever, resigned from Washington, D.C. And, oh boy, They was cooking the books, juking the stats, jiggering with the numbers. See how I did that? And, well, I think she's got some problems because she going to go to jail because you can't be submitting fake numbers to the FBI. FBI, that's called lying to the FBI, and they going to come get some. They going to come get some. What's up, everybody? First, let's address the people who's here tonight. We got Jody's here. What's up? Good evening, all. Hit that, tickle that plussy. That's right. Get it going. SB Farmer's here, too. There's a video of the Epstein cell. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, okay, we'll get into that. Nice to see you. Gundam Zig's here. What's up? Boy, did I pick the right day to do some checkups on the train wreck, U.S. Naval Construction. Then the presser this afternoon, mixed reaction. Guess nobody heard of the Yamato class. Well, we'll see. Iowa backyard canvas just made it on time and everything. Kofi says the no. And none of your business here. Good evening. And the most important question is, will Jim be on time? Jim was early, per se. Late, but early. The show was later than it should have been, but I started it 3 minutes earlier than it was actually scheduled for. So, what's the betting odds on that? What's up, G Schmarkman's here. What's up? Great to see you. I did shut the ads off. Jim is on time. Yes, always. I try to be. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, good evening from sunny Florida. Florida's a sunny place full of shady people. To Charvan. What's up, Charvan? Pat Hacker's here, too. Good to see you. Steve Hilliard's here. Great to see you. Vanilla Gorilla's here, too. What's up? Renee Collins is here. Nice to see you. Yes. Thanks for stopping by. Please remember to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And remember, you can make donations at Cash App or PayPal or Ko-Fi Coffee, whatever you call it. Links are pinned in the chat. Nanny Goat is just lurking. Life Isn't Different is here, too. Great to see you. Yeah, adios. That's right. Audra's here, too. NASCAR Mo. Is it NASCAR Mo or is it NASCAR Mo? I think it's NASCAR Mo, probably. Great to see you. Mama Pillow's here, too. Great to see you. Kelly J, great to see you, too. Good evening, all. Diamond G is here. What's up, my man? Nice to be here. Great to see you. Yes. Pesky Citizen Chris is here. He says, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. Oh, I hate that. Yes, and Kofi comes in hot with Book of the Ghetto 10-4. What's up? Thank you for the 2. And with that, we're going to get into the goal right away. Just remember, there's a goal, as there is always every show. All right? We start out. The first 2 hours, 2.5 hours of the show is just the show. And if we hit $100 in total donations across all platforms, PayPal, Cash App, Ko-Fi, Ko-Fi, whatever, I don't know it's called. I can't really figure it out. And Rumble Rants, Super Chats on YouTube, gifted memberships, or people becoming members on both YouTube and Rumble, or even Twitch or Kick or whatever. I deduct that from the goal, and once we total 100, I add an extra hour to the show. For every 100 we get, it's another extra hour. And then as an added bonus, when we hit the first 50 that comes in, we activate the Bellavision. All right, and there she is, as usual, just chilling out. And unless, and of course, an individual donation comes in of $25 or greater. If that happens, then we automatically activate the Bellavision for the evening. And that could be, anything. That could be super chats. That could be, $25 super chat. That could be, 5 gifted memberships. Man, that thing is kind of sitting on Bella's face there. Anyway, I don't know. But so that's that. And we're going to, so that $2 from Kofi there, it comes off. So that means we are now $98 away from the first additional hour and $48 away from Bellavision. That's right. But thank you so much. Let's see. What's up? Q Ed Waz, what's up? Listen to that woman the first time. What's one too many? It's nauseating. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And they think they got a rant for Bella, Jim. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's share this tab instead. Look at this. We got $25 from Life Isn't Different for Bella. So with that, we activate Bellavision. Why does she keep going down there? I want her to stay up there. We activate Bellavision for the evening. And wow, that's a nice little added bonus for everybody. Do that. And there she is. Can everyone see her good? I mean, I could take the Christmassy thing off, I guess, if it's in the way. Or I could just do this. Let me see. Is this better? I guess that's better, right? Just do that. You can see her all much better, right? You can see the whole Bella and nothing but the Bella. All right. Thank you. Yes, rant. I got it. Let me get this. And fix this. So that now means that we have the Bellavision, and that means we are now $73 away from the first additional hour. There we go. All right. Audra's here. Renee Collins is here. Yeah, thank you for Bella. Snarf's here. What's up, Snarf? HJ Remy's here too. Hello, everyone. So, so I don't know if you probably figured it out, but our first story of the evening is going to be about this lady here. Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to address something. I apologize about there being no show last night. This time of year with Christmas and the holidays, I've got a bunch of people over, and I don't know how my schedule is going to be this next week. Probably until at least at least till after Christmas, maybe New Year's. Might be a little sporadic for the next week or so. I'm going to try to do as many shows as I can, but we'll see. Like last night, there wasn't a show. There almost wasn't a show tonight, but yes, I have that story. USA making up battleship with lasers and railgun. Thank you. I have that story. Thank you so much, Diamond G. With that, we are now $71 away from the first additional hour of the show. So that's all I wanted to say. I don't want anyone to think like I'm not going to be streaming. It's just, I have grandkids and stuff. And like yesterday, I was putting together this car and everything. And it took me like all day to do. And then people came over, and it was just, it's just a little hectic, with this time of year. You aren't trying hard unless you stick out your tongue. Okay. You're entitled to a couple days off every year. Well, I thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to try to keep it as on schedule as possible because, Bella, she's not getting any. Mick Reekins is here too. Evening, Jim and Chat. Thank you to whoever gifted me a membership the other night. I really do appreciate it. I listen to Jim's dulcet tones to fall asleep to. Lady, I can think of another four-letter word for her. Even the pearl clutchers would tell her, yacht. I missed my chicks this morning. Oh, man. Oh, Merry Christmas, better man. Merry Christmas to you, too. Merry Christmas. I'd like to say, well, first of all, I'd like to wish everybody out there a very happy Hanukkah if you are celebrating Hanukkah. If you are celebrating Christmas, I will wish you a Merry Christmas. And if you are celebrating a fantastic Festivus or a crazy Kwanzaa, I'll say find something better to do. Trying to get the two in sync. I don't know what that means. I must be. But happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. So let's get right in. I'm off by a second. What are you talking about? Chicks on the right are off for 2 weeks. Oh, okay. I'm not going to take 2 weeks off. I'm not doing that. But I'm going to try. I'll definitely be streaming tomorrow night. And then I possibly maybe I'll do something Christmas Eve. I don't know. We'll see if I can. It might be a late type of thing. We'll see. And I might even stream Christmas Day if I could squeeze in an hour or two, just to say hi to everybody. If anybody's alone, spend some Christmas with me. So we'll see. So to my haters, F you. Outgoing DC police chief goes on unhinged rant, screaming meltdown during a walkout ceremony. Now, what is a walkout ceremony? This is a new thing that they're doing now where, like, whenever anybody's going to leave, they're going to have a whole thing where they're going to walk out and be like, I was leaving. What? Outgoing Washington, D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith went on a screeching rampage during her walkout ceremony on Friday. Pamela Smith resigned earlier this month following accusations of rigging crime data. The House Oversight Committee released a report on Sunday detailing the committee's investigation into D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith's manipulation of the crime data. The report titled Leadership Breakdown, How DC's Police Chief Undermined Crime Data Accuracy. I mean, that's the name of the report. And she's like, wasn't me. They better go arrest those people that says they did it because they got no proof it was me that told them to do it. Except for that's what happened. Yeah, total ebonic rage. Yeah. Follows a months-long investigation into whistleblower allegations that D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith was intentionally fudging the crime statistics. Yes, they call it juking the stats or tweaking the numbers or jiggering with it. The report reveals that Metropolitan Police Department Chief Pam A. Smith pressured and at times directed commanders to manipulate crime data in order to maintain the appearance of low crime in the nation's capital. Yes, it is very real. It's a very real thing. The testimony from the commanders also describes an environment under Chief Smith marked by fear, intimidation, threats, and retaliation, conditions that contributed directly to the decline of morale and the loss of experienced officers and commanders. Okay, I think I figured it out now. Snarf is saying he's got me on the TV and the PC, so he's trying to sync them up. Do you want me to do something like 1, 2, 3, so you can sync it? I am deeply humbled, grateful, and deeply appreciative of my time with the District of Columbia. Serving as a police chief has been the greatest honor of my life, of my career. And I want to extend my sincere thanks to Mayor Muriel Balzer for appointing me to this position and to the D.C. Council for their steadfast support throughout my tenure. However, on Friday, Pamela Smith lost her cool and went on an unhinged tirade during her walkout ceremony. I'm going to the Bible when I say this to my haters. F you. That's not in the Bible. I've read the Bible. In no way, shape, or form is the words F you in the Bible. Drop the mic, someone shouted. Wow. So we watched a snippet, a snibzit. So let's see if this is more.
The real reason you're stiff after sitting.
Wow, look at that.
You can live a very long time.
You can live a very long time without getting old. Yeah.
Watch what apples do to our body.
Wow.
Trail mix.
First ingredient, peanuts. One of the worst. It's not a nut at all.
Let's be really clear about one thing. Never will I ever compromise my integrity for a few crime numbers. I said it and it's on the record. Never would I compromise my love for God, the faith that I had in this city. Never would I compromise my integrity. Never would I compromise 28 years in law enforcement for a few folk who couldn't stand to be held accountable. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again. So I'm going to.
So she'd do it again. She juked the stats again. Yeah, that's the Marion Crackpipeberry building. That's right. It is. 22. Yeah. Wow. Allow. F you, Jesus. Yeah. Jesus is Lord. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. She sounds like Hitler in the amphitheater. Doesn't, right? It is. The haters got to her. Yeah. Sweet black woman can't be threatening anymore. They can be racist. Yeah, you know.
To the Bible when I say this to my haters. F you. The same folks who said in that report that they changed their numbers, and I did not. The report is very clear. I did not direct anyone. You should investigate those folks.
Yeah, they are investigating them. You're going to go to jail, lady. I hate to break it to you. You're going to bye-bye jail. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Enjoy prison. I'm pretty sure, too, once she goes to prison, I think the government pension goes away. FU, departing D.C. police chief invokes the Bible in performative preacher-like rebuke to critics. I don't think she invoked the Bible. I mean, she said the words Bible, but she didn't like quote any scripture. That is what I meant, but SpewTubers and SpewTube get all the vapors over the word. What do you mean? What word? What word are you talking about? What are you talking about? 28 years to learn chain of command. That's right. When she was asked about chain of command, she did not know what chain of command was. She's compromised. The whole police force in D.C. as a DEI hire can't defend your record. It's all fake stats. Classy broad she is. Yeah. FU will not look good on her resume. Yeah. Hey, Lady Bomber's here. What's up? She's being blasphemous like a true Marxist. Oh, yeah. That one. See you next Tuesday. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Now I get it. You meant see you next Tuesday. Okay. Hi, everyone. And her pension might not go away. It depends on how it's set up. I like to be a forensic accountant on the case. Well, no, because it's because her pension, because the DC is actually DC is a construction of Congress. It's a subservient to Congress, to the federal government, and the federal government pensions. You lose your pension if you get convicted of crimes in office, fraud in office. You lose your pension. It's not like cities and stuff like that. Like cities and states, they let people get away with stuff. But the federal government, they no, yes, yeah. DC's a federal district. It has no sovereignty. There is no sovereignty with DC. It has to do whatever the Congress establishes, and so Congress has rules about people who commit fraud in office getting their pensions. So she'll have a problem. Hey, what's up? Vince is here. He says, "Greetings, Jim and chat. Nice to see you, Vince. See you next Tuesday is a much better word in general. Yeah, it is." You're right, and hope she has fun in federal prison. I hope so too. Federal prison. I hope she goes to not the play golf and tennis and lacrosse prison, but the pound you in the behind prison. The Colombian Run DC. We'll see. We'll see. The chief and others in leadership were accused of fudging the numbers. Yeah, fudging them, just fudging them a little bit. What's it say? Megat's mom. Megataz mom. Oh, hey, what's up? Nice to see you. CCOT. Well, that would be great. She's got the haircut for a woman's prison. She does. She looks like she would fit right in. She would be the husband. Does anyone know? If I had to take a wager by the haircut and the way she acts, I would say she's some woman's husband. If you guys catch my drift. Departing Metro DC Police Chief Pamela Smith had a final message for her critics. And amid the ongoing investigations and allegations that the department manipulated its stats. Really? Wow. To make DC crime look less than it was. Why would someone want to do that? Why would you want to lie about crime stats? The House Government Committee on Oversight and Government Reform released an interim report early this week on its investigation into the Metropolitan Police Department. The report claimed that department leadership pressured and instructed commanders to downgrade crime classifications to lesser offenses, including those not included in the daily crime report available to the public. Smith was accused of propagating a culture of fear, intimidation, threats, and retaliation. I mean, you guys can watch the TV show if you haven't seen it, called The Wire, and I think it's season 4 or 5, when they're basically threatening people and telling them you're going to be relieved if you don't figure out a way to lower these stats, and taking people's jobs away. And because once you get to that position, like police departments, once you get to like the commander level of the district commander, or even like I think it's even just like one step below. Basically, it's not like an actual rank per se. It's given to you by at the pleasure of the mayor or whoever, and they can just take it away and give it to somebody else. You know what I mean? Generally, they're like lieutenants or captains. But then once after that point, anything higher than that is like, it's not really a union position type of thing. It's she looks intimidating. Well, yeah, she looks like she can box. It's also great as a greeting just to watch people react. People being offended because you aren't offended is great. She's the man in a marriage, be it a woman or a guy, that likes getting pegged. Oh, man. I refuse to downshift for the sake of others. If Jim is worried, he could not bring it up. What are you talking about? Bring what up? I don't know. See you next Tuesday? I'm trying to not use profanity simply because of some people might have their kids watching or something is what I was told. And they like, to show people stuff. So for those people, I'm trying to really tamp it down and not say anything that I wouldn't say in front of my grandson. Jules is here. Hey, Jim and friends, looking for some laughter and company this evening. I lost someone I loved a lot yesterday. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry for your loss. Wow. No, it wasn't just you, Renee. You did ask, but it wasn't just you. There was a couple other people that asked. And I said, you know what? I could try. So that's why. I can try. This person should have never been in any position of power. The MPD hosted a Friday walkout ceremony for Smith after her resignation announcement last week. Her resignation is in effect December 31st. Of course, she's an ordained Baptist minister. She probably is. But that's not to say that other people in the chat can't say what they want. Life isn't different. I would never tell people not to say what they want. I mean, I'm thinking it in my mind. I'm saying it in my mind. So, I'm just not saying it out. Where did that come from? During the ceremony, Smith denied the allegations against her. That got me in trouble. I'm telling you right now. Jules, hugs. Okay. Now I get what I want. YouTube's not a particular big fan of the C word. So sorry for your loss, Jules. My condolences. Sorry, hon. Prayers. Okay, I see now, Pat Hacker, that it went off too early. It went off too early. But believe it or not, remember that clip the other day, the thing about the drive-by shooting? I know it was a typo. I know it was a typo. That got me not demonetized, but reduced monetization for Friday's show because of that clip, because I said the words, what the guy said about F the J's, because I said, I didn't hear, and then he said, oh, there it is. And then, so that was what it was right there. That alone got me reduced to ads on an entire stream Friday. Wild. And she's never and will never would have encouraged, intimidated, or retaliated against anyone who's told anyone to change numbers. Well, I think we're going to find out that that's not exactly the truth. I hope you can understand this forum from a spiritual context, because the theme of what has resonated in this place is one thing, and that's God. Yes. Yeah, typos are a lot of fun. A lot of fun. She claimed some folks mistook her passion for being the angry black woman. No, she's the angry black woman. She definitely is the angry black woman. She's got that down. My passion is because I love this work. I love God's people, but I dare not leave without saying something to my haters. Smith was taking on a preacher-like persona by this point, and she raised her gravelly toned voice and offered dramatic pauses as she listened to the crowd, all the church-related activities she took part in over the years, before declaring that there's enough Jesus in me that's going to get me to heaven if I die tomorrow. Well, see, that's kind of your hubris, I think, might be a problem, because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to ask to be forgiven and for it to work. You can't just say, well, I did a bunch of stuff years ago, so I can do a bunch of crap now. It doesn't work that way. This is along the lines of the 2 sheriffs and 12 officers arrested in Mississippi for drugs and a protection racket that went public in late October. Interesting how big her team was. Yeah. Yeah. She joined MPD in 2022 as its chief equity officer. Yeah, that's how that works. Hello. Hey, Catherine K's here. Jim and Jim Somniacs is right. We're all here for you. She dropped an F-bomb, kind of. I'm going to go to the Bible and I say it's my haters, she declared, before issuing another dramatic pause, which seemed a bit taken aback. I forgive you. She said soon after, I forgive you because the Bible makes it clear when Jesus was hanging on that cross, when he said to us, Father, even in the pity of agony and defeat, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. God bless you and God keep you. So that's Smith also called for an investigation of those who accused her of directing police staff to manipulate crime stacks. Her departing speech was likened to a screaming meltdown. Just had, DEI police chief just had a screaming meltdown while giving her resignation speech after she was caught fudging crime stats. This person should have never been in any position of power, especially in the nation's capital. President Trump has repeatedly criticized D.C.'s Demon Rat leadership for their district's crime wave. He previously threatened a potential federal takeover if leadership failed to address the crisis successfully. D.C. is federal. It's the federal district. They have no sovereignty. It's already under control of the feds. All they got to do is do something. She started in social work for foster care, so she was a child trafficker. Probably. YouTube reduces your ads, but I get ads on YouTube with an animated chick getting railed by a wolf. Yeah, submissive and dominating that. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. She's hinting at the scandal coming down the line of her banging illegal immigrants in the name of Jesus. Well, it could be. More evidence DEI isn't worth the effort. No, it's not. And Trump did just that when he federalized the police in August. Former police commander Michael Pulliam was suspended in July after he was accused of participating in the alleged data manipulation. Yeah, he said he was told to do it, but they said, no, they accused him of changing stats outside of their approved methods. So they have an approved message for changing the stats. They admitted they had it. They admitted they had one. So that's what's going to have to come out. There was another story here I wanted to. One other story. I thought there was another part of the story. Okay. I guess this is it. So here we go. So, all right. So, DC police chief manipulated crime stats to make the city look better. This is a few days old, but I still just wanted to just briefly talk about it because we saw that. So, resigning Metro Police Chief Pam Smith deliberately manipulated Washington crime data to appear lower, according to a new report. The House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform released an interim report on Sunday as part of its ongoing investigations. The committee launched a probe into the department in August. Chief Smith should resign today. After interviewing 7 acting MPD commanders and 1 suspended MPD commander, the committee found that the department's leadership placed a high priority on suppressing public reporting of crime. They spent more time on suppressing it than actually stopping crime itself. Wow. The commanders told lawmakers that they were not only pressured but also instructed to lower the crime classification to lesser intermediate offenses in a way that those offenses would not be included in the daily crime report listed to the public. Wow. Smith allegedly created a toxic management culture that propagated a culture of fear, intimidation, threats, and retaliation. Lawmakers concluded that the MPD's crime data remained at risk of manipulation despite Smith's recent resignation announcement. Every single person who lives, works, or visits the District of Columbia deserves a safe city, yet it's now clear that the American people were deliberately kept in the dark about the true crime rates in our nation's capital. Testimony from experienced and courageous MPD commanders exposed the truth. Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda. Chief Smith's decision to mislead the public by manipulating crime statistics is dangerous and undermines trust in both local leadership and law enforcement. Her planned resignation at the end of the month cannot come soon enough. It shouldn't be seen as a voluntary choice, but as an inevitable consequence that should have occurred much earlier. She should resign today. Former police commander Pulliam was placed on administrative leave in May and later suspended after he was accused of manipulating crime data. Smith stated at the time that the department was committed to immediately addressing any irregularity in the crime data. Any allegations of this behavior will be dealt with through an internal process, which will ensure that the members are held accountable. However, Smith announced her resignation last week. While she did not give a reason, some critics questioned the timing amid the ongoing allegations against her and her department. I wonder how the teens in D.C. are occupying themselves since Trump cracked down on crime. More reasons to fake the crime stats. Yeah. These allegations against the department and its leadership emerged as amid Trump's warning that his administration would take over D.C. MP did not respond for requests to comment. So that's where we're at with that. This is just F you, unhinged D.C. police chief cites the Bible, rages at haters. So, I never compromise my integrity. All right, and then on to the next story here. Switching down to the old Venezuela way, we have hot pursuit. Coast Guard in pursuit of an Iranian-linked Venezuelan oil tanker flying false flag after refusing to allow U.S. forces on board. That's not going to work out well, I don't think. The U.S. Coast Guard is in pursuit of a third sanctioned vessel in the Caribbean after it refused to allow U.S. forces on board. The tanker called Bella 1 is flying a false flag to evade U.S. forces. The United States Coast Guard is in active pursuit of a sanctioned dark fleet vessel as part of the Venezuelan illegal sanctions evasion. It's flying a false flag and under a judicial seizure order. Wow. That's interesting. Well, what happened? The chat just died. Let's see. Oh, we got a little video here.
Join ICE with bonuses up to $50,000
yes,
and
join
generous
ICE.
benefits.
$50,000 bonus.
Join.ice.gov.
Join it. Join it up.
The real reason you're stiff.
Wow,
after
who do
sitting.
you
can live
noodles
a
like
very
ugh.
long time
That's
without
gross.
getting.
Afternoon, John. The first two tankers seized by U.S. forces earlier, including one yesterday, were what's called compliant boardings. U.S. forces boarded the ship without any problem. Today, a sanctioned Iranian-linked tanker called the Bella 1 is refusing to be boarded and is being chased by U.S. forces. And a U.S. official close to the situation tells Fox News about the pursuit, saying, quote,
Well, I'm sorry. If anybody from the government tried to board my Bella, we would have a problem. I would resist. Yeah, that's why Bella's always sleeping. She is a pirate by day on the oil tankers. That's right. Yeah, chase as it moves 12 knots. I mean, you could just take out the steerage on it. Yeah, Bella 1 is the cow involved. I just got her back. We all know how the ATF does with dogs. Oh, I know. I didn't want that.
The United States Coast Guard is in active pursuit of a sanctioned dark fleet vessel that is part of Venezuela's illegal sanctions evasion. It is flying a false flag and under a judicial seizure order. Now, not all Republicans on Capitol Hill, John, are on board with U.S. seizing tankers.
I consider it a provocation and a prelude to
war.
A
provocation.
We don't go to war with Venezuela. Look, at any point in time, there are 20, 30 governments around the world that we don't like that are either socialist or communist or have human rights violations. We could really literally go through a couple dozen. But it isn't the job of the American soldier to be the policeman of the world.
Shades of John Quincy Adams there, who said America does not go abroad in search of monsters to destroy, John. In the pre-dawn hours yesterday, a Coast Guard maritime special reaction team fast roped aboard a Panamanian-flagged Chinese-owned tanker from a U.S. Navy helicopter. At the time, it was the second tanker seized this month. She is not on the sanction list. The tanker seized December 10th. The first one is now at anchor outside Galveston, Texas. The supertanker commandeered yesterday was loaded with 1.8 million barrels of Venezuelan crude bound for China, where 80% of Venezuelan oil is shipped. That American assault force launched from the flight deck of the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, now on station in the southern Caribbean. Her F-18 Super Hornets, E-2 Hawkeyes, and electronic warfare jets, the Growlers, have been flying daily show force missions off the coast of Venezuela just outside its territorial airspace. And needless to say, John, Venezuela has been irked by what it calls these provocations, seizing these tankers and also those shows of force missions off its coast and has asked for an emergency session of the UN Security Council early this week in New York. John?
Wow. Let's see how that works out for them. I don't think it's going to work out the way they think, because the UN can't do shit. The Security Council can't do shit. The U.S. has a veto, so it's not like anything can happen. Yeah. Is he Republican, though? More like a rhino? He claims to be like a libertarian, but he seems to just vote about anything against what Republicans want, is basically what it means. They could drive a DD right up their ass. Yeah, they could. Doesn't the term false flag come from the Pirate Times like 700 years ago? Yeah, that's what they would do. The chase is probably slower than the OJ chase, probably. Yeah, it is. Dr. Seuss would have something to say about all those noodles if he hadn't been banned. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's a very contemporary. Lots of sanctioned countries use false flag vessels to move shit around. It is. It is. But it's been going on for, it started like pirates would do that too. That way they would put a different, and then they would come up on a ship and then they would, right when they got close, they would hoist the Jolly Roger, the skull and crossbones. So getting sick of Rand, he's become all talk, no action. Yeah. So sailing out of Iraq and flag is Panamanian, for example. Yeah. Nobody wants John Adams. Give us Jefferson. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Susan Pepper, MD. Oh, you're our Adams relative. Oh, cool. The UN is as useful as hemorrhoids on a cell phone. Yeah. But the UN Security Council can't do anything. Like the U.S. has a veto. Russia has Russia has a veto, so that's why the Security Council can't do anything. The U.S. could just go veto. Tanker Bella 1 was placed under U.S. sanctions in June 2024 under counterterrorism activities, according to the Treasury Department, which said the vessel was part of a shipping network linked to Sayed al-Jamal, a U.S. designated Houthi financial facilitator. Like Rand Paul saying, there's all these countries and we got sanctions, but if we're actually going to start following through at what we say instead of it just being crappy words on paper. The last false flag attack was carried out by the German Navy in 1907-ish. Yeah, because I think they may, isn't it the rules now of war, Phil? Like, if you do that, it's like anybody involved is subject to summary execution. If they capture you, they just because I consider that being like a spy type of thing. Like if they catch somebody, they're not protected by the Geneva Convention, if I'm not mistaken. I think, yeah, it's a war crime. Yeah, and it's not like they could just be summarily executed. They're taking my thoughts about the ships Russia and oil tankers, UN, NATO have commandeered more of this in multiple theaters. Yeah, yes, it's technically piracy. That's what I thought. So vessels in that network have been used to transport sanctioned oil, including Iranian crude, and the proceeds are directed to the militant groups. U.S. officials have said in describing the basis for the sanctions. If seized, the Bella 1 would become the third tanker apprehended by the U.S. authorities. On Saturday, the Coast Guard seized another tanker in international waters near Venezuela after Trump declared a blockade of Venezuela. That tanker was flying a Panamanian flag and was carrying Venezuelan oil that is expected to sell in Asia, the official said. As a Gateway pundit reported, the U.S. seized another Venezuelan oil tanker on Saturday morning. This comes after Trump ordered a full blockade on all sanctioned oil tankers. This was the second oil tanker to be seized, with the first operation occurring about a week prior. So we saw this, I think so. More. It's a developing story. U.S. pursues third oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. This guy, what's his name? I know this guy. Oh, man, let's see. I know this guy.
Yeah. Would say we're already engaged in a form of warfare called fifth generation warfare, which I agree with his assessment. What I would tell the president,
his name is Tony
try to
something.
Figure out
what is that, by the way?
It's an all of national power array of using economics, diplomacy, information operations, obviously kinetic strikes when necessary, but it's basically a using all of our other means of national power besides military to achieve a specific objective, a specific outcome. And in here, we're seeing things that obviously we seized this tanker, the merchant vessel Skipper, which is like Gilligan's Island, skipper. But we seized that, and that is traced back to an IRGC holding company, registered in Panama, but it was owned by the IRGC, carrying illegal oil. So the idea here is we're going to start seizing these shadow fleet tankers, which really, they're breaking the law. We can seize them, and that takes away money from their economy, from the shadow economy. The idea here is to hit Maduro and his inner circle directly without destroying infrastructure. So I think that's why you're going to see us going to kinetic strikes last, while we use these other means first before we have to resort to using actual military power.
This guy, I can't remember his name. I think it's Tony. I'm pretty sure this guy was part of the last major, the largest tank battle since like World War II, if I'm not mistaken, called 73 Easting. I'm sorry, 73 Easting, and it was in a battle during Desert Storm between obviously the U.S. and Iraq, and hold on a second. All right. Yeah, and then like Phil says, the stateless vessels are technically property of the nation that is attempting to board them. If you use false flags, you make yourself a stateless vessel. Dan, don't worry, you're late, but it's always good that you're here. Yes, thanks for the info. Calling another country's economy a shadow economy doesn't make sense to me. Well, there is a shadow economy being like stuff that's all under. That's Tony Schaefer, Colonel Tony Schaefer. Yeah, he was part. It was McMaster's tank company commander in that battle. Yeah, but Tony Schaefer was there, right? If I'm not mistaken, he was like he was either in a Bradley or something that was part of it, right? Am I getting that wrong? I could swear I'm right. They mean the country is not part of the global homo, maybe. Yeah, Colonel Tony Schaefer. Great, nice guy. Yeah, good guy. Maybe. I don't know. I think so. But who am I? Oh, I didn't even have it blown up. So the U.S. Coast Guard on Sunday was pursuing another sanction, but that's a good thing. If you ever want to... Did Joe raid here tonight? No, I didn't. I didn't have the show set up in time for Joe to raid here. Joe ended. I didn't start the show until 10:35. Joe ended at 9-ish, and I didn't even have my show set up in time. That's why I didn't have my show set up by 10. That's why it was 10:35 scheduled, so I could get the thing out. Because I was having a weird issue with my camera and stuff too. So, anyway, so yeah, Colonel Tony Schaefer. Good guy. But I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. But that's him. But anyway, there's a good thing if you haven't seen it yet about 73 Easting to check out on like the History Channel. I think it's like Oliver North's War Stories or something, if I'm not mistaken, but Greatest Tank Battle, something like that. It's nice thing, and it's, I don't know. I liked it. So yeah, they're pursuing another ship, and it's targeting such vessels coming out of the pursuit of the tanker, which was confirmed by the U.S. briefed on the operation, comes after the U.S. administration announced Saturday it seized a tanker for the second time. Official who's not authorized to comment said Sunday's pursuit involved a sanctioned Dark Fleet vessel. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you just, you're going to stop the vessel. They're not going to allow you to board. Well, then you just board. You have actual soldiers board it then and take it. And if they fight with you, then, oh, buddy, they got problems. What theater of war did the Easting thing happen in? It happened in Desert Storm in 1991, I think, right? 91, Desert Storm. So Iraq. It was they were swinging around and cutting across the desert, and they ran into like he apparently failed to pass on the intel to the FBI about the 9/11 hijackers and advised the Jaguars. What? Charlie says, what's your call-in number? I don't have a call-in number. I didn't know I was supposed to get a call-in number. What's up, Dan Blackrade's here. What's up, Jiminy Christmas? That's right. Yeah. Let me show you if I can get it. Hold on. Let me see if this works. Chat. Do this. Where is it? Never fear, Patrick 7 is here. Hope all is well. Get a call-in number. It's free. Get a Google Voice number. Then you can have refined people like me call in while also getting mentally challenged inbreds to dial in as well. I will work on that. You know, it'll take you less than 2 minutes to set up. I will work on that. I will work on it. I don't know how to work that in. How do you do that with StreamYard? I don't know. I think you have to use OBS to do that, I think, maybe. Sunshine's here, too. Call 555-FLARE. That's right. Ooh, a call-in show. That would be fun. Yeah. The Battle of 73 Easting was in Desert Storm. Yeah. 3 compete, and we know how many to go. So here, let me do this. How's that? Is that good for Christmas? Does that look like familiar? That guy look good? That's me as Santa Claus. Just hold the phone next to your mic. Get Bella a phone too. Yeah, military nerds. Yes, we all are. I know. We'll see. I'll work on it. So, Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. Pentagon Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the U.S. Coast Guard, deferred questions about the operations at the White House. Time for Jim to do mall tours. Yeah. Saturday's pre-dawn seizure of the Panamanian-flagged vessel called Centuries targeted what the White House described as falsely flagged vessels operating as part of the Venezuelan shadow fleet to traffic stolen oil. The Coast Guard, with assistance from the Navy, seized sanctioned tanker called Skipper on December 10th. It's an AI merger of Jim and EVS. It could be. Black Santa. Well, no, I have him. He's a Black Santa, too. Where's the photos of you as Black Santa? I do have that one. Hold on. I could change it. Hold on. There we go. All right. See? There's me as Black Santa. Ha, 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 ha. Hardy, ha, 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 ha. All right. Oh, hello, everybody. Sorry about that. Blank Santa also says, shit. Yeah, he does. Oh, we got a $2 super chat. I didn't even see that. Oh, man. Thank you, Joe. 49ers win, so I'm happy here. Thank you. And with that, we now are 69. Look at that, $69 away. 69, dude. 69 away from the additional extra hour of the show, or first extra hour of the show, I should say. You got my dad a 10-foot inflatable Black Santa for his front yard. Well, that's awesome. Black Santa says, yo, yo, yo. Oh, damn it, I screwed that up. I'm late to my football addiction. Old Jim can't be contained. No, he can't. Every once in a while, he pops out. Iraqi tanks were nothing compared to the M1 Abrams. It was shooting fish in a barrel. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think the majority of... Oh, what am I doing here? Sorry. The majority of them were actually taken out by Bradleys, I thought. Like, a lot of them were taken out by the Bradleys and their tow missiles and stuff. Joe says hello. Oh, yes. Chocolate Santa. Yeah, like chocolate rain. Those inflatable things are so sad when deflated. Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Joke incoming. Some team from Indiana. No one cares. Also, those Bradleys are the worst. I want to be in a fighting vehicle, troop transport, and a tin target with a high profile and thin armor. That and A-10s. Yeah. Okay, so Trump, after the first seizure, said the U.S. would carry out a blockade of Venezuela. It all comes down to Trump has ratcheted up his rhetoric towards Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. This past week, Trump demanded Venezuela return assets that it seized from U.S. oil companies, which they did. They stole a bunch of shit from us. They really did. Trump cited the lost U.S. investments in Venezuela, and when asked about his newest tactic to pressure campaign against Maduro, suggested the Republican administration moves are at least somewhat motivated by disputes over oil investments, along with accusations of drug trafficking, and some sanctioned tankers already are diverting away from Venezuela. Some of our least favorite Democrats were pilots that strafed the highway of death for hours straight. Oh, yeah, the highway of death. Like, if you want to see something like the highway of death, like what happened was the footage of what was going on got back to Poppy Bush. And he saw what they were doing, and he was like, stop it now. Stop it. Because it was basically people were retreating back to Iraq, and they were just, clunk, 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 clunk. The Russians think Bradleys are better than their BMPs, which they are. Fort Carson. I was attached to a tank battalion at Fort Carson and would be deployed with them during peacetime. Got to watch them in action. Joe, thank you. That's awesome for the $2. You got us down to 69. One of our mutual friends sells surplus. I just ordered a souvenir helmet from the Highway of Death. Does it have holes in it? Does it have official, actual holes in it? U.S. oil companies dominated Venezuela's petroleum industry until the country's leaders moved to nationalize the sector, first in the 1970s and again in the 21st century under Maduro and his predecessor, Hugo Chavez. Compensation offered by Venezuela was deemed insufficient, and in 2014, an international arbitration panel ordered the country's socialist government to pay $1.6 billion to ExxonMobil. It's slightly melted because Saddam had to deal with South Koreans to make the helmets, and they were all made out of fiberglass. Yeah, so we were basically experience farming them. Yeah, it was basically like a video game experience farming. That's exactly what was happening on the Highway Death. And yeah, but that's what happened was it went on for like 12 to 14 hours or something of just rampant. Like, you can't really find any video of it online of what they were doing because tank crews are screwier than submariners. Literally no ballistic protection. They were made out of fiberglass. I got one. It just looks like a Darth Vader helmet. Iraqis also used their tanks as dug-in artillery pieces, which made them literally sitting ducks for toes, and the Abrams IR and night vision targeting system. Yeah. Knew an M3 Bradley Scout and DS who engaged a two-man RPG team. They spotted the thermals. Next day, they saw they vaped a camel. Well, I apologize for the chat. I fell asleep. Don't worry about it. Maduro sent a message on Sunday on Telegram that they spent months denouncing and challenging and defeating a campaign of aggression that goes from psychological terrorism to corsairs attacking oil tankers. Well, could be. We are ready to accelerate the pace of our deep revolution. What? Whenever I tune in, I always fall asleep halfway through. Don't feel bad. No, I don't feel bad. What's up? Sitting ducks. Yeah. Rand Paul, who's been critical of Trump's Venezuela policy, called the tanker seizures a provocation and a prelude to war. Oh, come on. Let's be 100% honest. What's going to happen if the U.S. goes to war with Venezuela? It'd be over in less than 48 hours. It really would be. I mean, the Venezuelan people are not behind. He has no popular support, Maduro. He doesn't. He's a tyrant. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it being an issue. I see it being like, basically, if we were to go into Venezuela, it would look like Operation Just Cause, right? All over again. Our advanced optics thermal night vision destroyed Saddam's army. It was the first time we used all that technology together. It also helped that they had tanks going back to World War II. Yeah, well. This makes think of running wilds under Jolly Rogers. Fundamental check. Yeah, well, I hope war isn't necessary. Me too, but I don't think it'll be like a war like you think it'll be. It'll be like I think it'd be over by lunchtime. war with Venezuela, the people probably help us out finding the idiot they call president. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, the stabilization system on the M1 allowed them to shoot with accuracy while moving over dunes. Yeah. Yeah, I think the T-72, right? They got to stop, right, to shoot. They probably would have been better off wearing sailboats on their head. Look, at any point in time, there are over 20, 30 governments around the world that we don't like. They're either socialists or communists or have human rights violations. But isn't our job to be the policeman of the world. This ain't really being the policeman of the world. This is being a policeman of the Western Hemisphere, which is Monroe Doctrine, baby. Not interested in neutralizing Venezuelan citizens. I don't think we would have to neutralize any Venezuelan citizens. I think the citizens would rise up. I really do. They would meet us as liberators, I think. I don't know. And the Russians crappy export versions of their tanks that they tried really hard not to let the Warsaw Pact know about. Yeah. They have a female picked out to replace him. Just saw the mainstream media talking about that today. Oh, yeah. The female in, she's in Sweden, I think, or somewhere. It's not a publicity stunt. They're actually handing out guns to Venezuelan citizens. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those turn on the government. I wouldn't be surprised either. But I heard they were giving them guns, but they're not giving them any ammo yet. They're not giving out any ammo until they know it's on, from what I understand. Like, because they're worried if they start handing out ammo that they might end up getting a revolution. At least 104 people have been killed in the 28 strikes in September. The strikes have faced scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers and human rights activists, who said the administration offered scant evidence. We've seen the evidence here on this show. We've seen the evidence. The T-72s had old rotary system to move the main gun. The Iraqis never had a chance. Panama's a smaller country, and it took a while to get Noriega out of the Vatican embassy. So, yeah, but, okay. I suppose it's better than insomnia, gymsomnia. Yeah, no ammo. Fun fact, any of the footage you see them showboating their special troops, even the troops manning the anti-air, none of them have magazines. Yeah. They might be dumb, but they're not that dumb to be giving out ammo, live ammo to the people that they've been suppressing and, basically robbing and abusing and brutalizing. You don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed to know that that's probably not a good idea. That'd be akin to Gavin Newsom passing out guns and ammo to the homeless people in L.A. because they think they're going to stop ICE. Trump has repeatedly said Maduro's days and powers are numbered, and the White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles said in an interview with Vanity Fair that he wants to keep on blowing up boats until Maduro cries uncle. Tim Kaine said on Meet the Press that Trump's use of military to mount pressure runs contrary to Trump's pledge to keep the United States out of unnecessary wars. No. Forever wars. No forever wars. None of these crazy forever wars on the other side of the ocean. But this hemisphere, that's totally different. Democrats have been pressing Trump to seek congressional authorization. We should be using sanctions and other tools that are supposed to. Also, all the sanctions stuff that we've had on them, that's worked, really. Venezuelan economy. But I tell you, we should not be waging war against Venezuela. We definitely should not be waging war without the vote of Congress. Oh, well. Congress cut off the funds if they want to. They could pass a thing saying no more funds for this. They really wanted to. U.S. pursuing third vessel in international waters near Venezuela. They need to send a Navy after it, is what they need to do. The U.S. Navy, not just the Coast Guard. That's what they need to do. And then this story I thought was really funny. This is kind of intertied with this. It says, cell phone-less Cuban agents guard Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro as U.S. boards a third oil tanker. So it says they did board. Now this is saying they did board the tanker. A lot of South Asian accounts on X are pushing images of the Venezuelan Navy and a message that they're going to start escorting shipping, even though they have less than 60 green water boats. Yeah. A lot of resources down there. There are a lot of resources down there. Yeah. So let's see. Here we go. This is a nice video. We'll check it. I think this is the video. We might have seen this one the other day. I don't know. Let's see. There is no audio. Yeah, this is the one. U.S. seizes second tanker. So I think we saw this, so I'm not going to watch it again. We saw this the other day. Cuban agents are protecting Venezuelan President Maduro as tensions flare with the U.S. Now, you notice how they said cell phone list? Because they won't let them have any electronic devices on them. Because they're worried someone could plant something in it like they did with the pagers. You guys know the pager situation? Yeah. And Maria Corina Machado Parisca is a Venezuelan politician, activist, and prominent leader of the opposition to the administration of Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro. Cuba needs to provide electricity to the country for more than 4 hours a day and mind their own business. Yep, they do. So, yeah. The counterintelligence forces from Cuba have been making sure they're in battle. Maduro is surrounded by security around the clock, and that no one around him carries phones or other electronic devices, according to reporting from the Wall Street Junior. Cubans have cell phones. They also had a problem with us tracking cell phones of bodyguards and auxiliary people that we knew were in the presence of leaders. Well, yeah, that too. They're taking very good care of Maduro and his immediate successor, said Thomas Shannon Jr., a former high-ranking U.S. diplomat who spoke to the Journal. The Cubans are not going to go quietly into the dark night. Somebody might be. The seizing of oil vessels could create a crisis-level shortage in Cuba, who gets the majority of its oil from longtime community ally Venezuela. Cuban agents have long been a presence in the country, but recently ramped up protection for Maduro as President Trump has criticized the country's government, built up U.S. military presence in the ocean near the South American country, and announced a blockade. Yeah, Operation Circumcise was effective. Earlier this month, American forces seized a ship carrying over 1 million barrels of oil to Cuba, and on Saturday, a Bella 1 tanker flying a Panamanian flag was seized as it headed to Venezuela to load up. Without oil imports, experts warn the Cuban energy grid is on the brink, and frequent power outages plague the island. Why would you say they don't have cell phones? Because you said Cubans have cell phones. I said, yes, I know Cubans have cell phones. They're not allowing the people around Maduro to have cell phones. That's the thing. That's the story. Is like, why, like no one around him can have a cell phone. Saxon Rainey, I'm sorry to hear that your dog's in the ER. I hope he or she is okay. That's that's in the title of the story. That's the title of the story. Cell phone less Cuban agents guard. Cell phone less Cuban agents guard Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Oh, yeah, so Cubans on it. She ran against a senior advisor with Nobel Peace Prize recipient this year. Ironically, some people are suing Nobel. Yeah, I got that. It's surprisingly, Julian Assange is. My bad, I do have CRS. Can't remember shit. Maybe they should have Anthony Weiner take over power distribution in Venezuela like the communist baby lover is trying to do in California. Saxon Rainey, I hope your dog will be all right. Thank you, Jim. No problem. Saxon Rainey praying for you. The paranoia over electronics after the cell phone was effing funny. Yeah. They could be used as the pagers were. T-72 probably that shot and charge were separate. To reload, require the gun to go off target to allow the loader to trade to align the breach. Unused rounds were exposed and prone to detonation in the hit area. Yep. Has a problem, yes. It was literally the headline about cell phones, yes. I thought you touched on that last week. I might have. Thank you. Yeah. I either missed the first part or you said it or my CRS kicked in. So in response to mounting tensions between Caracas and Washington, Maduro has sought to keep appearances up, posting consistently on TikTok. On Saturday, he posted a video of himself singing No War, Yes Peace, a hit remix of his voice to some parrots at the zoo. I hope they got that video. Oh, of course they do. No war, yes peace, yes peace. Wow, that's crazy. But behind closed doors, Maduro has taken precautions. He rarely schedules his public appearances and has been rotating sleeping locations. According to the New York Times, it's unclear how many Cuban counterintelligence agents have been deployed to Venezuela. It's not about a bomb in the phone. It's that the phone being used to track his position. Okay. Maybe both. Yes, God bless your dog and the veterinarian. I'm so sorry. I know how hard it is. What happened to your fur baby? Are you all right? Talk about the second day of blackout in San Francisco. It's the second day of blackout? Really? I know they canceled all Waymo services because of the blackout. Oh. I'd say that's the people running for governor just spouting stuff to get their. Let's see how long those EVs last. Yeah, they had like all these like Waymos were just basically breaking down in the middle of intersections because there was no power and there was no communication. It's like all jacked up. All jacked up. And we got this from the Latin Times. It says, Cuba reportedly doing all it can to prevent Venezuela's Maduro from being toppled by the U.S. Yeah, last I read, tens of thousands of people without power still in parts of California. I know it was 133,000 houses or something like that were without power yesterday. I don't know if it's still that many. The Cubans are not going to go quietly into the night. The Cuban regime is doing all it can to prevent Nicolas Maduro's authoritarian regime from being toppled by the U.S., according to a new report. The Wall Street Journal detailed that keeping the Maduro regime is key for the island's ailing economy. Cuba is already feeling the pain from Washington's campaign, with the outlet noting that the daily shipments of oil to Cuba have fallen from 100,000 a day to 30,000. What? Thomas A. Shannon, a former high-ranking diplomat who dealt with the regime, said, Havana is taking very good care of Maduro. The Cubans are not going to go quietly into the dark night. Cubans are hungry after, not looking to fight anyone. Well. Oh, wow. That might be something to pull up. All right, let's do this. I'll pull this over. All right. Oh, here we go. This is from the outages this week in San Francisco are exactly why we have to break up the utility monopolies. Yeah, so this is the leftist billionaire, Tom Steyer.
PG&E really pisses me off. Our electricity bills are the second highest in the United States of America, after Hawaii. As governor, I'm going to cut utility rates by 25%. By introducing competition, we took on big oil with Prop 23. We have to take on these electric monopolies. If we break up the monopolistic power of utilities, we'll drive down costs. I'm Tom Steyer. We need to get back to basics.
He wants. Well, who's going to pay for the power lines? That's the whole problem. Why your costs are so jacked up is because you're refusing to do anything about the system that's falling apart. Anytime the wind blows, you get knocked down power lines, it sparks fires. Oh my God, Salty C says, I will have to excuse myself for a few days. A friend of mine got hit by a car and died. I am so sorry to hear that. That is rough, especially this time of year. I hope that's not and Anthony Weiner, the guy is supposed to be, should be intentionally infect somebody with HIV. That's not Anthony Weiner. That's Scott Weiner, not Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner was the guy who was married to Uma Abedin. You're thinking of Scott Weiner. He's the guy who said that you wouldn't be if you kill somebody with AID. That was Scott Weiner. In fact, intentionally infect somebody with HIV or you pick up a 14-year-old lady boy at night. Just wrote legislation. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, wrong Weiner. You shitheads just drove out how many refineries? Isn't that why we pay PG&E? Well, yeah, but the government won't let them trim trees. That's the problem. They tell them, no, you can't cut those trees down. So it's not all the regulations and stupid requirement laws. It's the power companies got it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, those power lines are a major source of wildfires. They are. Something happens, sparks, boom, fire. Please hit the like and Merry Christmas. That's right. Yeah. So there's this guy. But then let's see. We'll hear from his opponent. Steve Hilton says, Governor candidate for San Jose. Watch me tell billionaire climate fanatic Tom Steyer how his climate extremism is the reason we have the highest gas prices, electric bills, and housing costs in America, and how I will cut costs by reversing this lunacy. Steve Hilton looks different with a beard.
We have the highest gas prices in the country, higher even than Hawaii, even though we have abundant oil reserves here in California, thanks to the climate extremism pushed for years by Tom Steyer. We have the highest electric bills in the country apart from Hawaii, double the national average, thanks to the climate extremism pushed by Tom Steyer. We have the highest housing costs in the country, thanks to the climate extremism pushed for all those years and with all those billions by Tom Steyer. The answer to making life affordable for the working class Californians who are being crushed by the Tom Steyer climate agenda is to do the things that I've proposed in my campaign. Reverse the climate extremism so we get $3 gas in California. End the obsession with wind and solar for electricity so we can cut your bills in half and get rid of the ridiculous environmental regulations so you can have a home that you can afford to buy. We have the highest gas prices.
Yeah. Well, this is true right here. Also, a lot. Yeah, well, before you hold on. Sorry for your loss, Salty C. That's right. I was going to make a statement about it being like, I hope it's not a bit like, grandma got run over by a reindeer type of thing, but I'm sure it's not. My more wind farms. We don't need no dams or water bottles or straws or turtles or solar panels. Wait, what are we protesting again? Yeah, definitely. And a lot of gas stations are about to shut down because the deadline to install double-walled fuel tanks for gas stations is in a few days, and they're about to lose 2/3 of all gas stations. Oh, that's going to be wow. California was supposed to help pay for the gas stations putting in double-line tanks, but never went through with it. Because between shutting down refineries and getting rid of gas stations, Californians are about to get tango. That's bull, Jim. PG&E hasn't maintained those lines in their paradise in years. No tree of value anywhere near them. I'm just going off what I've heard. That they can't get permit. Like they need to get permits before they can do tree trimming or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they haven't been. If they haven't been doing what they're supposed to do, then that's that's on them. They definitely are getting enough money, aren't they, to do this service? I mean, it's when it comes to like electric or stuff like that, like an ounce of prevention is way better than 10 pounds of fixing it later. Man, I did so many miles of work upgrading PG&E infrastructure. Why is he speaking like a British person? Because he is formally from Britain, but he is an American citizen. He's a citizen of California, and he's running to be California's governor. A big part of why they can't cut the trees at all is with the same laws that won't let people clear ground brush. Yeah, they passed a law. That's why a lot of these fires happen too, because they won't let people clear ground brush. Because like, well, there could be some kind of native plants in there or something like that. That's super. Or you might kill a turtle or a frog or something that might be protected, so you can't. And here's an update for the customers impacted. This is from Pacific Gas and Electric, by the San Francisco Power. The PG&E will issue customer credits to residents and business customers affected by the power outage that occurred. Yeah. If you cut down the ground brush, the great North American red-breasted warbler might lose its bathroom. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Dave? Great to see you. Merry Christmas to all. A good night. So let's see what this is. This guy DEI, you think? DEI PG&E?
Hi, everyone. I'm Vincent Davis, Chief Customer Officer at PG&E. This is a message for our San Francisco customers who lost power starting on Saturday. We recognize the impact of the outage, and we apologize for the disruption and frustration this has caused, especially during the holiday season. We hold ourselves to the highest standards of customer service.
I'm just going to say right now, by hearing him speak, I don't think he's a DEI hire. I think this guy actually might know what he's doing and talking about. I think he might be there on merit. He sounds like an intelligent person. He doesn't sound like ghetto talking crazy. So I don't think he's a DEI hire.
So today, I'm announcing that we'll be providing an automatic $200 bill credit for residential customers and a $2,500 bill credit for business customers for those impacted by our substation outage this past weekend. There's no action for you to take. All eligible customers will automatically receive this on their next bill. Customers can also follow our normal claims process. Details are available on pg.com/claims. We will send you more details very soon. Again, our sincere apologies. We will show up better for you. We will earn your trust, earn your business. We are your local hometown providers, and we're with you. Have a happy holiday season.
Yeah, he got put up as a shield. Yeah, because they can't criticize it with that guy, right? So, all right, on to this story. We got President Trump removes nearly 30 career diplomats from ambassadorial positions. Well, you know wow, that's a lot of money. The price of PG&E must be expensive. Yeah. Here at PG&E, we're going to start giving customer credits for the bills, and we're also going to double our bribes to the politicians. No apology needed. Just turn the power on. And home. Look it up, Snarf. The frog it eats has 500,000 acres of protected land. Some crazy stuff. So basically, there was 30 career diplomats, which is code for deep state actors that are doing what they want, enacting their own foreign policy, not the president's, which they're in the executive branch. That means they're supposed to do what the president wants, not what they want. So the Trump administration is recalling nearly 30 career diplomats from ambassadorial and other senior embassy posts as it moves to reshape the U.S. diplomatic posture abroad with personnel deemed fully supportive of President Trump's America First priorities. The chief of missions in at least 29 countries were informed last week that their tenures would end in January, according to two State Department officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the internal personnel moves. I don't know why I always have trouble. Police Chief of Brown was just placed on administrative leave. Good. Should be fired. All of them have taken up their posts in the Biden administration, but had survived the initial purge. Oh, so they're all got their posts during Biden, and Trump's supposed to keep them? Are you nuts? What are you, nuts? They survived the initial purge in the early month of Trump's second term that targeted mainly political appointees. That changed on Wednesday when they began to receive notices from officials in Washington about their imminent departures. Ambassadors serve at the pleasure of the president, although he typically remain in their post for 3 to 4 years. Those affected by the shakeup are not losing their foreign service jobs, but will be returning to Washington for other assignments should they wish to take them. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, Jim, anonymity. 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 I don't know. Oh wow! Get your viewers at streambo.com. Remove the space. There you go. Get them. Get her done. The State Department declined to comment on the specific numbers of ambassadors affected, but defended the changes, calling them standard process in any administration. It noted that the ambassador is a personal representative of the president, and it's the president's right to ensure that he has individuals in these countries who advance the America First agenda. Africa is a continent most affected by the removals, while with ambassadors from 13 countries being removed: Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Gabon, Ivory Coast, Madagascar. So it's two Madagascars, Madagascar and Madagascar. Mauritius. I thought it was Mauritania, so it's Mauritius. I don't know. Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, Somalia, and Uganda. A second in Asia with ambassador changes coming to 6 countries: Fiji, Laos, the Marshall Islands, Papua New Guinea, the Philippines, and Vietnam are affected. I'm no marine biologist, but I'm pretty sure California is going to do a horrible job at taking over power distribution. Yeah, right? 4 countries in Europe, Armenia, Macedonia, Montenegro, and Slovakia are affected, as are 2 in the Middle East, Algeria and Egypt. South and Central Asia, Nepal and Sri Lanka, in the Western Hemisphere, Guatemala and Suriname. I don't know. Politico is the first reporting ambassador recalls, which have drawn concern from some lawmakers in the union representing American diplomats. Also, they think a union can say, no, you got to keep these guys as your ambassadors. Wow, I just heard like a weird noise. I hope you guys didn't hear it. One day I'll have a channel. One day, sure, go ahead. So, is that it? Is that all the story? Okay. And then just the AP just says the same thing. Trump removes 30 career diplomats. Trump removes 30 career diplomat, announces change to off. Oh, no, this is a different story. My bad. So this is on to the next story. Here we go. Trump administration announces change to offshore wind construction. So, yes. So it's been reported today that Trump canceled five projects that were under construction for offshore wind farms in the ocean. President Trump's Department of Interior is pausing offshore wind project construction due to national security risks. Due to the national security concerns identified by the Department of War, Interior is pausing at least leases on for 5 expansive, unreliable, heavily subsidized offshore wind farms. One natural gas pipeline supplies as much energy as those 5 projects combined. POTUS is bringing common sense back to energy policy and putting security first. Oh. Hi, other Jim. Oh, he's dead, Jim. What's up? Great to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. And I'm just not as good looking as Jim tells you. Well, listen. This is a face for radio. Trump needs to reassign all the diplomats he doesn't like to Somalia and then let them quit on their own. He did reassign the ambassador from Somalia, who was a Biden guy. He finally got him out of there. F those monstrous, overpriced windmills. The Daily Signal depends on your support. In a press release obtained by Fox Digital, the Interior Department said the pause will give the department, along with the Department of War and other relevant government agencies, time to work with leaseholders and state partners to assess the possibility of mitigating the national security risks posed by these projects. Oh, hey, look at this, man. This is crazy. You guys ready for this? This is from Kick. This guy says, Sammy Stois. I don't know. Hey, homie, I checked your video and it seems like you're new in Kick. Not yet affiliated. That's right. I didn't rep no gang yet in Kick. And I got a proposal for you. By sharing your stream to Kick community for you to gain 1,000 active audience and earn nothing less than 1,000. Add me on Discord. Mr. Jerry 11. Well, Mr. Jerry 11, we'll see. Must be a good job to be a U.S. representative in Somalia. I'd imagine you make a lot of money. Maybe. I don't know. Where'd you send the ambassador from Somalia if you didn't like him? Haiti? Detroit? That's a joke, people. That's a joke. Burgum aims to address the risks like rapid evolution of the relevant adversary technologies and vulnerabilities created by a large-scale offshore wind project. Well, that's what they say. And with proximity near to East Coast population centers, leases for the Vineyard Wind 1, Revolution Wind, Sea Vow, Sunrise Wind, and Empire Wind will be paused. Law want them to quit, not get killed. Okay, yeah, so don't send them to Detroit. I get you. I just learned there are over 1 million Sicilian people. I didn't know numbers went that high. 1 million Sicilian. I get it now. It's a joke because it's like quintillion, sexillion. Yeah. Shortly after Trump's inauguration, he issued a memorandum temporarily stopping offshore wind energy leasing on federal waters and halting approvals, permits, and loans for all wind projects pending a comprehensive review. Joe says, there is no difference between Somalia and Haiti. Send them to Minneapolis. Oof. if I sent an ambassador to Haiti, I'd tell the French to keep him out of the Dominican Republic. Why do we need an ambassador to Somalia? Because we do have stuff, for whatever reason, we still have troops screwing around in Somalia that have been there, I think, since Black Hawk Down time. There's been a constant flow of troops always in there, mucking about. During his campaign, Trump promised to end offshore wind energy projects on day one. We're going to make sure that that ends on day one. I'm going to write it out in an executive order. It's going to end on day one. So, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do we think it's a good thing or a bad thing that Trump's ending wind farms? Wind farms. Wind farms. I just want to remind everybody, we've been going for an hour and a half now. Please, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please really, really think about subscribing. There's 115 people watching right now on YouTube and only 72 likes, so it would be nice if you could pump that up a little bit. And I just want to remind everybody that there is a goal this evening. For every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, we add an extra hour to the show, and we are currently $69 away from adding an extra hour, and we got roughly about an hour left to show if we don't hit the goal. So I've been told I need to announce that a little bit more often so it doesn't just come flying in at the last minute and letting people know. So I'm going to try to, like, every 30 minutes or so say something once we get, now, I'll probably say it again at the 2-hour mark. Maybe right when we get 2.5, I'll probably be like, hey, we got like another 10 or 15 minutes. But so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Trump administration scraps 5 offshore wind farms, including New York projects, citing national security risks. Okay, let's see.
The Trump administration on Monday suspended leases for 5 large offshore wind projects that are under construction off the U.S. East Coast. It cited national security concerns, sending shares of offshore wind companies plunging. The suspension was the latest blow for offshore wind developers that have faced repeated disruptions to their multi-billion-dollar projects under U.S. President Donald Trump, who has said he finds wind turbines ugly, costly, and inefficient. The U.S. Department of the Interior said the move was the result of complaints by the Pentagon that the movement of the huge turbine blades, as well as the highly reflective towers that hold them up, cause radar interference that can make it hard to identify and locate threats. Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum has previously said offshore wind installations can make the United States more vulnerable to attacks by swarms of drones. New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Connecticut Attorney General William Tong said in separate statements on Monday that states affected by the freeze were reviewing their options. The National Ocean Industries Association, a trade group representing offshore wind developers, urged the administration to end the pause quickly, pointing out that the Pentagon had been involved in approving the projects under past administrations.
Oh. I wonder what that means. The Pentagons were involved, so it means the president or whoever last said we don't care. Because, if you have all these windmills doing that, basically these wind farm windmills, and you're trying to get, radar through it or whatever, not to mention the vibration of the windmill causes problems in the water. It travels through the water. It screws things up. Not to mention they drive the poor sea life crazy. Ever heard of windmill sound from hydrophones? It's horrible. Yeah, it's brutal, and it's what's been causing a lot of whales to beach themselves and causing whole schools of fish to basically drive themselves into places they can't get out of. It's nuts. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mr. Kilo? Great to see you tonight. Thanks for being here. You should see all the dead birds at the base of these wind turbines on the jobs I work. They're literally blanket the ground. The birds basically get sucked into the wind vortex created. And they're driving the whales away. Yeah, that's what they're doing. All types of stuff. Pentagon, DEI. It was probably what it was. It was probably the guy that wears the Vader mask from the Pentagon. What was his name? The guy that didn't tell anybody he had colon cancer or whatever. So Department of Interior announced that it's immediately pausing the leases. So I think it's a good thing. Get rid of them. We got plenty of natural gas. We don't need this crap. some cases, radar would actually miss actual targets. The prime duty of the United States government is to protect the American people. Today's action addresses emerging national security risks, including the rapid evolution of the relevant adversary technologies and the vulnerabilities created by large-scale offshore wind projects with proximity to our East Coast population centers. Renewable energy is a giant scam that does not work. I agree. I think so, too. Trump voice, they're killing the whales. They're killing the dolphins. Lloyd. The Trump administration will always prioritize the security of American people first. Representative Chris Smith, whose brothers are both pilots, told the Post that he's been advocating against the offshore wind farms for years based on a potential to disrupt both aircraft and ship radar for both civilians and military service members. Camp Evans is located in my district, and that's where the radars were created for World War II. And we knew before the Mitsubishi A6M Zeros hit Pearl Harbor about 40 minutes plus before that they were coming because of these radars they deployed there. And they really made a difference. This is something that, wait a minute. So they're admitting now that they saw them coming, but nobody did anything. What is he talking about? So that's the whole story of Pearl Harbor, that they saw them and they go, no, that's a flight of B-12s or whatever, or B-25s or something, or B-24s coming out of, flying in from Frisco or something like that, from the mainland. Remember, it's in the movie. So Obama investors, the same ones from the failed solar projects from his first term, are the investors on all these solar and wind projects. Same people, different LLCs. Yeah, it's a big scam. They just suck the government money. They all get government subsidies and do these huge projects, and the projects collapse, and they don't have to pay it back. It's almost like a scam. Almost like a scam. Yeah. Renewable energy works on small scale, houses, homesteads, etc. It doesn't work on large scale because the technology for storage and infrastructure for moving does not exist. Yeah. Trump likes sea life. He learned that from his court case. Yes. B-17s, that's right. A group of B-17s coming in from the mainland. That's what they thought it was. And so they didn't get any planes. How many planes got in the air? According to the movie, just 2 planes got into the air. I don't know if that's true, though. I wasn't there. Those concerns were confirmed by the GAO office that found that turbines, some as large as the Chrysler Building, can reduce the performance of radar systems used for defense and maritime navigation. Well, no, that's what the general staff thought they were. Okay. These include reducing detection sensitivity, obscuring potential targets, and generating false targets. According to a DOE report, in addition, offshore wind energy development may affect larger military exercises by obstructing flight and surface vessel movement, according to DoD officials. Wow. Smith also noted the potential hindrance to roughly 100,000 U.S. Coast Guard rescues annually, or the ability to intercept foreign drones. Some lawmakers and experts speculated that vexed the Biden administration in December 2024. Huge disruptions could also result, like what air passengers saw earlier this year when a frayed piece of copper wiring caused a radar outage in Newark Airport, forcing delays and cancellations of flights. The Biden administration's response to this claim was instead build it and give a damn about national security and, security to people when they're flying out of Newark. You name the place. What? 14 made it up. What? What do you mean? Roughly a third of all construction costs for the wind farms have been borne by the taxpayers. Well, that's a problem. But it doesn't begin to include the cost of cleanup efforts when a powerful hurricane hits wind farms. Oof. The radar reflector we put on our fishing boat was like the size of a soccer ball. Planes. Burgum informed the congressman that there are concerns about the football field size propellers being decommissioned for scrap metal within just 13 or 14 years, despite the wind projects touting environmental benefits. President Trump pledged to block all new wind and solar projects from receiving federal funding in August, calling the renewable energy sources the scam of the century. Construction on the Revolution Wind was halted the following month, only to be reinstated by a federal judge. Oh, that's great. The federal judges can just tell the president what to do. Both it and Empire Wind have been contracted for 6-figure contracts by the Interior Department under former President Biden, according to a review of federal spending records. Just a few pieces of aluminum to make ourselves more visible. Oh, yeah. more than $500,000 was already shoveled out the door by the Biden administration via the grant to Massachusetts Institute of Technology in December 24, which in part funded emissions targeting setting, emissions strategy, and development for community stakeholder collaboration. Wow. I would like to know how many of the government buildings are a type of solar or wind energy, especially the environmental agencies in each state. So-called green subsidies could top $1 trillion over the next decade. Oh, of course they will. Rhode Island approved Sunrise Wind just weeks after the Biden administration gave final approval to the 65-turbine Revolution Wind product in August 2023. Both were joint enterprises between Danish wind giant Ørsted and a New England utility firm. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer fumed over the Trump administration's moves. How dare you? Trump's obsession with killing offshore wind projects is unhinged, irrational, and unjustified. Oh, maybe Chuck's wrong. What do you know? At a time when soaring energy costs, the decision from the DOI is backward step that will drive energy bills even higher. So Chuck doesn't care about the safety of the country. He doesn't care about messing up radar. He's just, pandering. It will kill good union jobs, spike energy costs. How's it going to spike energy costs? They weren't producing any energy to begin with. It's a war on American jobs. U.S. Air Corps tends warning civilians of pending doom and get the F out of the war machine hubs. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were two of dozens or so Japanese cities chosen. Hochul said the Big Apple lame duck mayor, Eric Adams, also slammed the decision, touting how the project could have helped power 1 million homes. In July, Trump said he called on the European Union to ditch the ugly windmills dotting the horizon of Turnberry, Scotland, Golf Resort, and other locations. Okay. Well, interesting. So same thing. Interior halts offshore wind projects. Trump administration suspends leases of five major wind projects. Wow, I'm like falling asleep here. I did get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's part of the problem. President Trump announced a new class of battleships. That's right. Did you guys see the presentation with Trump? We're bringing back the battleship. I think Trump just wants to be able to say, "You sank my battleship." He wants to play battleship literally. I don't know. Videos in here. Let's see what this is. No, it's just music. All right, never mind. President Trump on Monday announced plans to build new battleships for the first time in more than 80 years and is naming them after himself. The new ships will represent an upgrade to the Navy's Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, with the current models costing more than $2 billion apiece to build. The shipbuilding will begin immediately and will take approximately 2.5 years to complete. Now, I mean, if they're just Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, how are they battleships? They're not battleships. I mean, the term battleship has specific meaning, doesn't it? Doesn't it mean a certain amount of tonnage? Doesn't it have to meet the tonnage requirements to be? Trump is helping power 1 million whales. Yeah, he probably saw the movie and wants to build battleships to fight aliens. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Heavy missile cruiser. Like, they're saying it's an upgrade to the Arleigh Burke class, but I was thinking more that should be an upgrade to like the Ticonderoga class, right? Yeah, a certain size. That's what I thought. Like a certain size, like certain tonnage, like gross tonnage, it makes it a battleship. Like that's why. Yeah. B-13. And, I mean, there was treaties and stuff that established like sizes and stuff and what the gun sizes could be and different things and armor. But he was talking like 5-inch thick steel armor. Like those are all assault ships. Like the Iowa class, I mean, what I remember being taught about the Iowa class ships was that they had because when I was in the Navy, they were still in service. Oh. And for $5, hot with when you said you had a face for radio, you should have also said you had a voice for silent movies. Womp, 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 womp. Thank you for the $5, though. I appreciate it. And with that, we are now $64 away from the first additional hour of the show. Thank you so much. All guns are assault guns before they are all ships are battle. Therefore, all ships are battleships. Okay, you know what? That makes sense now. No real artillery. Planning to use rail guns, even though a program was canceled. Lasers and more missiles we cannot manufacture fast enough. Why don't they just go with some like real big guns again, man? That's what they really should do. They should go with like some shore bombardment guns. I mean, what was the range on the 16-inch guns? Wasn't it like 30 miles or 50 miles was the range on the 16-inch guns? That's pretty far, you know. Would anyone want me to make a channel? Sure, make a channel. Sounds good to me. I mean, I'm confused. We don't need ships really. I mean, we do need missiles on the ships, but they should have like seriously. If I was gonna, 30 to 50ish. That's what I thought. Like, if I was gonna build a ship, I would build a ship with the Japanese solved the railgun issue. Did they? Okay. I would want something with like 18 to 20-inch guns, big guns, like at least 2 turrets, 6, 3 each, of like 20-inch guns, 20 inchers. Bigger than the Yamata class, right? The Yamata, was it right? Yamato class. Yes, every inch counts. That's right. When we had 16s, they had 18s, I believe, and the Germans had 17s. But we needed to go like 20s, 20 inchers. Want to be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Papala. My bone gonna bang tonight. But anyway, so with that, and then put like 8 or 9 Sea-Whiz cannons on that thing, like just stack it with Sea-Whiz, just with like enough ammo to just shoot down any drone or any missile or anything coming in, but instead of using the old Sea-Whiz that we use on the ships now, change it to the I think it's the Avenger that they had in the A-10 Warthog. Put those as the Sea-Whiz cannons. Those Avengers that are like 10 millimeters bigger. And Io was near 60,000 tons displacement. Yamato was 70,000. 16-inch range was max 24 mile. There were plans for a sub-caliber to extend range. German used 15. I thought they had a 17. Didn't the Bismarck have 17-inch guns? Goalkeeper used the Avenger. Did it? Okay. All right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Put those on the ship. Yeah. How we get those Terminator Apocalypse. This is how we do. Yeah. Yamamoto's 18-inch guns fired slower than the 16s. Yeah. While big guns are nice, they have heavily outclassed by missiles. Yeah. 15s, you sure? I can swear, for some reason, I thought the Bismarck had 17s. Is this some kind of code? The chair's against the wall. The car's against the wall. John has a long mustache. 2030, the Great Reset Theory sure lines up so nicely. Just have multiple AC-130s circling above. Well, that works. While the term battleship is commonly used to describe a kind of warship, the term technically refers to a heavily armored Navy ship armed with large guns and capable of serving as a command vessel in a naval attack campaign. The Tirpitz and Bismarck had 8 15-inch guns. I know that the Tirpitz. Wait a minute, no, wasn't the Tirpitz the one that was. Just looked it up. The Bismarck had 15s. All right, you know what it was? I think maybe there was a plan to upgrade them or something like that, because the one that was, they had a lot that were like not really battleship. Like, what was the one that got stranded in Argentina or whatever? Was that the Tirpitz that was running around sinking stuff? But they were considered light battleships or like heavy cruisers because they didn't have as much armor. I thought it was a pocket. Yeah, the Tirpitz was a pocket battleship. So they had like smaller guns, I thought, and less armor because they were faster. Like that, no one could. That was the whole point behind them. While the Japanese had bigger guns, they lacked a lot of accuracy. That's a lot of things a lot of people don't realize. The targeting system for the Iowa class battleships was a completely mechanical computer. It could not be beat. It could not. They tried when they refitted in the 80s, when they refitted all the when they refitted the Graf Spee had 611s. Yeah, the Graf Spee, that was the one I was talking about. Turpus was sunk in Norway. Okay, never mind. Graf Spee was the one was a pocket battleship. But the mechanical targeting system for the Iowa class, they tried when they refitted the Missouri and the Iowa and one more, and I can't think of the name of it. They refitted 3, I believe, during when they refitted during the 80s when the push to get to 300 ships, the Reagan push to expand. They tried to go with a computer-based targeting system, but every time the guns fired, it actually caused the system to go haywire, like and like screw it up. So they just stuck with the mechanical, all mechanical, and it actually the Wisconsin and the Jersey. That's right, they did 4. The Missouri, the Iowa, the Wisconsin, and Jersey. So they did 4, but they stayed with the mechanical because it worked and it was perfect and it never got screwed up. It doesn't matter how much you jerked it, how much the ship moved. But anyway, what I was getting at is. The armor on those ships was like 1 foot of steel, 1 foot of concrete, and another foot of steel. So it was like double steel holes with concrete in between. Like supposedly, I don't know if this is true. Supposedly, they had like a whole water washdown system on them that they could basically a nuclear radiation, like it could keep it all out. And then, like allegedly, they could pretty much not a direct hit from a nuclear weapon, but they could take a pretty good hit from a nuclear weapon and survive. But oh, look at this. We got Brian Ogden with a gifted membership. Thank you so much. And that gifted membership went to the real Kara Fro. Hey, that's moderator to the stars, Kara. She got a gifted membership. That's awesome. And then Jules also gifted a membership. Thank you, Jules. And that Jules went to Chooch McGee. Chooch McGee got that one. Willis Ching Lee was also good for battleship shooting. Okay. Awesome. Welcome to the green, Chooch. And with that is $12 off. So that means we are $52 away from the first additional hour of the show as we are approaching the 2-hour mark. Thank you all so much. Okay, so the U.S. has not commissioned a battleship-class vessel since the USS Missouri in 1944. The previous U.S. battleships were named after states. They will have 100 times the force, the power of earlier warships, and there will never been anything like these ships. They have been under design consideration for a long time, and it started with me in my first term. The new class of battleship we named the Trump class. They will be capable not only of attacking naval targets, but also be armed with nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles, adding to the nation's nuclear triad. The final countdown was a true story. There was nuclear-tipped Tomahawks on the Missouri and I know for the fact they were. I shouldn't say that. I don't know I can either confirm or deny the presence of nuclear-tipped Tomahawks on the Missouri. Never mind. I take that back. Trump is going to Trump. Yeah. They're not supposed to say that. They're not supposed to say that stuff. We were always told we had to say we can neither confirm nor deny the presence of nuclear weapons. These cutting-edge vessels will be some of the most lethal surface warships. Each one of these will be the largest battleship in the history of our country, the largest battleship in the history of the world. Wait a minute. What do they mean by largest? The fucking Iowa class were big, man. Those were some big ships, the Iowa class. I mean, they're not carrier, but I mean, Jim, I have no obligation to anything, and I can confirm they had nuclear tips on them. Well, I don't know. That's what we were told. I don't know if we were, I don't know if they were just fucking with us or not. Did they really rename the Kennedy Center to the Trump Center, or is that a joke? I heard they renamed it to the to the Trump Kennedy Center or something like that. Drones galore also on these new ones. Oh, okay. Everyone always tells me, Donald, your ships are the biggest. We've never seen ships quite as big as yours. Oh my God, he didn't, did he? We were also canceled the new frigates when in 4 years or so they could only complete 12% of the lead ship. New design based on an upgunned CG cutter and a new battleship, probably lower displacement than Iowa. Well, that's what I don't understand. How can they say they're the biggest ships ever? They did name it the Trump Kennedy Center. Yeah. The Dems are pissed. Yeah. Like the Arleigh Burke class, like they downgrade, like we had the Ticonderoga class cruisers and they basically downgraded those to the Arleigh Burke destroyers. Like, I don't know why. It's all being AI engineered. No humans are designing this anymore. AI taking a lot of jobs, these type of jobs, maybe all that's left until robotics advances. Don is from Queens. They like to exaggerate. Largest area of effect, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what they're getting at with this because they would have to be 60, 70,000 tons, right? For it to be tonnage, for it to be bigger than the, well, that's we want to building ships. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they want to, is this what we're partnering with the Koreans? Because that's what I heard is we were going to partner with the Koreans because the Koreans and the Japanese are really good at building ships. They get them done quick. That was a problem the Japanese had in World War II. They couldn't get the shipbuilding done quickly but now they're pretty good at it, I guess. I don't know. It's not immediately clear how many of the new ships will be built, what new capabilities they may have, or whether legislation will be required to finance the initiative. Do we really need them? Yes, we need them. We really do. We need every ship we can get our hold on. I'm building a battleship on my 3D printer. We need as many ships as we can get. We do. Our Navy is depleted beyond the point of, But the problem is we don't have, there's only 7 Ticonderogas left in service, replaced by the chunky Arleigh Burke's Flight 3 that have a smaller radar horizon and all radar array in one location. Yeah, I mean, I know they said it's like, oh, this is a better ship and all, but I mean, I'm sorry. It's a big difference when if you're going through some 30-foot swells, the size of the ship makes a big difference. That's all I'll say about that. Just trying to share the love with you guys. I always do. Just wish ScrewTube didn't take such a big cut from Jim. Yeah, me too. I know. But, if you, as long as you do it from your computer, it's less. If you do it from your phone, just so everyone knows, if you do donate, like buy memberships from your phone, like an Apple phone especially, I'm getting less than 50% if you buy it from an Apple phone. AI subs are on patrol. I'd love to see all the AI tech. They're supposed to weigh somewhere between 30 and 50,000 tons, so less than the Iowas. I mean, maybe they could, maybe they might be bigger though. It's possible. Maybe they might be bigger if they're using some kind of, special armored steel type of thing that they didn't, better plate armor, so it doesn't have to be as thick, so not as heavy as the Iowa was. So maybe that's how, I don't know. I did it from the desktop version Chrome on my phone. Does that help? Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as it's Chrome like that or Apple phone or something like that. I don't know. Was it an Apple phone though? I don't know. It depends. If you paid for it through your app, like your Apple app or anything like that through your Apple phone, then Apple takes their 30% too. There are 74 Arleigh Burke's destroyers in service being built in the late 80s. They serve a versatile function, including air defense, aircraft carrier escort, and launch pads for Tomahawks. Could be longer, possibly. Yeah, they might not. Maybe they're longer, just not as wide. Because those. I think, if I'm not mistaken, those aircraft carrier, like I think, what was it like? They were like almost. I think the Iowa classes were like almost 300 feet wide or something like that, like huge width. They're, If it goes, go give someone. Yes, it always helps. The 3 Zumwalts had their guns removed, so no ammo, and replaced with canisters with hypersonic missiles. AB also reached probable limit of hull and power plants. 9 of the first 11 LCSs were already decommissioned. It's bigger because Trump is hyping them up. Don't think too hard about it. Okay. They will absolutely have a ship capable of launching drone swarms, even building them on the go. I did on a Chrome app, but on my Apple phone. Wish there was a way to tell if it made a difference or not. I won't know. I really don't. Iowa 108-foot beam. Okay, it's I thought it was 100 yards, but maybe it was 108-foot beam. Yeah. He who has the most drones wins when AI takes control. New Jersey had thick thighs. Yeah. The ship class named after a prominent World War II Admiral Arleigh Burke, who survived 2 kamikaze attacks during the fight for Okinawa and later served as a CNO to President Eisenhower and John F. Kennedy. The Golden Fleet branding leans into Trump's Inauguration Day plans to usher in the Golden Age of America. He similarly branded new missile defense initiative the Golden Dome and gilded the Oval Office and Cabinet Room. Trump was joined by Pentagon Chief Hegseth and Navy Secretary John Phelan at the shipbuilding announcement in Palm Beach, Florida, where he's spending Christmas week. So that's that story. That's interesting, right? Trump unveils Golden Fleet of Navy battleships. Navy Secretary warns shipyards must act like we're at war as China's AI-powered fleet races ahead. So he's saying it's going to be 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. So maybe that's true. We haven't built a battleship since 1994. Well, I mean, in 90, what? No, we haven't had a battleship since 1994. We decommissioned them in 94, all of them. We haven't built one since 1944, I think. There was more scheduled to be built, and they canceled after the war ended, they canceled the last 2 or 3, Trump said the Navy would immediately start procuring the ship, working up to 10 and eventually 20 ships to 25 in total, and would aim to have the first 2 within 2.5 years. Trump described the ships as heavily armed platforms combining missile and traditional naval guns, arguing that gun-based firepower could deliver combat effect at a fraction of the cost of missiles. Each ship would displace more than 30 to 40,000 tons and serve as a flagship of the U.S. fleet. Can you see the gifts for $2? I thought I did. What are you talking about? I did bring them up. I talked about your gift, Brian Ogden, this one and this one. Was there other ones? Is that what you're talking about? That's the only 2 I seen. There's one from you and one from Jules. I did deduct it. But thank you for the $2. And with that 2 now, that brings us to $50 away. Just $50 away from the. I did see it. Is that something else going on? They had touch screens versus traditional control panels and stations. I think the single screw also Arleigh Burke. They no longer have a school rate that taught enlisted how to fix propulsion systems. I guess I'm out of the loop on military issues, seeing the Navy has been making drone ships for a while now. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Trump described them as heavily. Yeah, okay, we saw that. Yeah, there's like a rendering of what it's going to look like. I don't know. I just want to see turrets, man. Again, I want to see turrets with some guns, man. I really do. The president said the battleships would be equipped with advanced weapons, including hypersonic missiles, electric railguns, high-powered lasers, as well as nuclear-capable sea-launched cruise missiles currently under development. We already have those. They're called Tomahawks. Trump also said the ships would feature state-of-the-art defensive systems and carry what he describes as tremendous number of missiles. Tremendous is going to have the most missiles of any ship ever. Yeah, going to need a bigger boat. That's awesome. They're putting the Statue of Liberty on it. Yeah, right? That's awesome. It's going to be great. That way they know we're going to bring to all the, around the world, to all the huddled masses, we're going to bring them steel rain. How hard it would be for me to get a job at the Naval Shipyard in San Diego, do you think? I don't know. The Arleigh Burke. Oh, they had touchscreens. Yeah. Okay, I get you. Merry Christmas to you. Jim obviously isn't in YouTube chats. What are you talking about? What is going on? What is happening? Am I missing something? I said Kara Fro received a gift and Chooch McGee received a gift. I don't see any others. I don't know. Am I missing something? What is happening? Yeah, I don't know. What am I have no idea what they're talking about, and I'm paying attention. Yeah. Merry Christmas, sunshine. Thank you. Thank you. With that, we are now $45 away from the first additional hour. Thank you guys so much. New DDG plan with still design stage was glad Trump called out the shipbuilders and CEOs for high pay and missed goals. Need more large construction slips. Can only build one carrier. Newport News. Yeah. Oh, he may be referring to the combo earlier about seeing how much YouTube takes out of the gifted memberships. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what he's talking about. All right. No, you can't see that. They don't show you. It's like I could tell, like, I could just get a total of what the cost was, and I can roughly see what I get for that day. Like I'll see it on the thing. It'll show me what the, like on my chart, what it was, but they don't break it down by what, they don't break it down that way. YouTube is very sneaky about how they do stuff. I think that's how they rob you. They really do. Trump denied the ships were meant to counter China. To counter everybody. It's not China. We get along with China great. I have a great relationship with Xi, and it's not China. I think it's just everybody. You don't want to know what's going to come along. The announcement comes amid an ongoing debate with defense circles over the future of the U.S. fleet, with recent naval strategy emphasizing submarines, unmanned systems, and even more distributed surface forces. Some defense planners have argued that large surface ships can be more visible and vulnerable to targets in modern missile-heavy conflicts, while others argue larger platforms can provide greater firepower, endurance, and command and control capabilities. He pointed to World War II-era shipbuilding as a model, noting that the U.S. once produced multiple ships per day, compared to what he describes as today's slower production pace. Trump class, the USS Defiant. So they are going to have some guns on it. Oh, look at this. We got another membership. Thank you so much, Jules. Let's see. Merry Christmas, y'all. That went to Jackie Randazzo. Received a gifted membership from Jules. Jackie Randazzo. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, y'all. And then somebody might have gotten through the defense infrastructure is weak. We need more production for everything. Yeah. Finally, maybe it'll work. And so with that, we are now $39 away, folks. Just $39 away. $39 away from the first extra hour of show. Okay, seems the battleship peaked at 30 miles. I thought there was a couple that went further, but I don't see anything at the moment. Above and beyond. Just 39, y'all. We can do it. Yeah, 39, and we have, let's see here. We are 26 minutes away. 26 minutes left to go because I was late starting to go, so we're actually going to have about a little extra time there. So that's a cool looking ship, I guess. So Trump also tied the battleship announcement to a broader push to accelerate U.S. defense production, which is good. You think you spooked the ghetto chat? I don't know what that means. The ghetto chat's always a little slow on the uptake, whatever I want to call it. And he said he plans to meet next week with major defense contractors to demand faster delivery timelines, increase capital investment in new factories, and limits on stock buybacks and executive compensation. We make the best equipment in the world, but they don't make it fast enough. That's right. I mean, I have sold more planes than any president by far, and probably 20. So every time I go someplace, I sell 100 planes. And I'm always having to say 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, helicopters, Apache helicopters, many, many years. The announcement comes at a time when the Trump administration has elevated shipbuilding to a White House level priority, establishing a dedicated office to oversee maritime industrial policy and signaling a broader push to expand U.S. naval capacity. Defense leaders for years have warned that the U.S. shipbuilding industrial base has struggled to keep pace with demand, citing workforce shortages, fragile supplier networks, aging infrastructure, and persistent delays at major shipyards. Well, they closed a bunch of shipyards. Basically what they did, they just ran everybody out. Navy leaders have long pointed to shifting requirements and design changes after construction has begun as another factor driving delays and cost growth in major shipbuilding programs. In April, Trump signed an executive order declaring the erosion of America's shipbuilding and maritime workforce a national security risk, directing a government-wide overhaul aimed at expanding domestic shipbuilding, stabilizing long-term funding, strengthening the workforce, and countering China's dominance in global ship production. Inside the Navy, Phelan has echoed the urgency, warning that the service must act like we're at war with the shipbuilding and weapons production speed. He has moved to overhaul the Navy's acquisition culture, launching a rapid capabilities office designed to cut development timelines, enforce accountability, and push new technology into fleets faster than traditional Pentagon procurement allows. Trump wants to revive the lagging U.S. shipbuilding industry. Well, we need to. We definitely need to. U.S. officials warn the shipbuilding crunch is colliding with the enormous capacity gap with China. Office of Naval Intelligence assessed China has roughly 230 times the shipbuilding capacity of the United States, a disparity that helped Beijing expand its fleet faster than American yards can produce new hulls. Well, the U.S. Navy said the Navy retains a technological edge in areas such as undersea warfare and carrier operations. Well, I mean, the last I heard, the Chinese submarines, you don't even need to put your earphones on to hear them. All these new ships are employment opportunities after christening as well. Yeah. And then Christ just saw the new FFG based on the Legend class being built by Huntington Ingalls. They only produce over half our combat fleet already. Yeah. This enrages me. DHS arrests over 100 illegal truck drivers in California and seizes their driver's licenses. They should seize the trucks. Seize the trucks. That's what they need to do. Seize the trucks. I've been almost falling asleep. Yeah, me too. And that's just today. Wow. It's a daily thing now. Wow. The U.S. Navy currently operates 294 warships, where China now fields the world's largest Navy by hull count, more than 370 ships in service. At the same time, several of the Navy's marquee programs have struggled with delays and cost growth, including Columbia-class ballistic missile submarine, the Virginia-class attack submarine, and the Constellation-class frigate, which has faced scheduling pressure amid design and requirement changes. New Trump-class Navy warships named after President What to Know. So announced the plans on Monday for a new large Navy warship bearing his name. Trump-class ships described as battleships, though officials say they would be next-generation surface combatants built on technology derived from the Navy's existing Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers. Yeah. Most important, we need ships that can counter supersonic missiles. Yeah. Yeah, imagine a BB that can project over 25 miles, 250 miles. Yeah. The announcement, the first two ship files, renewed White House pressure to expand Navy shipbuilding. The White House is framed to move as centerpiece of Trump's vision for a rampant Golden Fleet. The plan was unveiled at Mar-a-Lago. Wow, it's cool that they just ride around with the Statue of Liberty on back like that. That's pretty awesome. Trump announced his plan for Golden Fleet. Golden Fleet. Look at this story. China likely loaded more than 100 ICBMs into silo fields, Pentagon report says. The shipyard that failed the Constellation cited supply chain issues and lack of shipwrights. Wow. I don't know if they have done trials with Sea-Wiz and supersonics. I don't see why it wouldn't work. China is likely to have loaded more than 100 intercontinental ballistic missiles across 3 silo fields and has no desire for arms control talks, according to a draft Pentagon report. China is expanding and modernizing its weapons stockpile faster than any other nuclear armed power. Beijing has described reports of a military buildup as efforts to smear and defame China and deliberately mislead the international community. Yeah, Chinesium. Yeah. In November, Trump said that he may be working on a plan to denuclearize with China and Russia, but the draft Pentagon report, which was seen by Reuters, said Beijing did not appear interested. We continue to see no appetite from Beijing for pursuing such measures or more comprehensive arms control discussions. Well, in particular, the report said that China had likely put in more than 100 solid-fueled DF-31 ICBMs into silo fields close to China's border with Mongolia. They were trying to get some Mongolian beef, and they wanted extra spicy. Best bet against hypersonics is kinetic or energy weapons with zero human or decision in the chain. Yeah, probably. Sharks with lasers, brah. That's what we need. Yeah. Sharks with lasers. In particular, reports that China had likely put in the DF-1s in the fields close to the border with Mongolia. The latest series of silo sites the Pentagon had previously reported the existence of the field, but not the number of missiles loaded. The Pentagon declined to comment. China's embassy in Washington said China has maintained a defensive nuclear strategy, keeping its nuclear forces at minimum level required for national security and aiding and abided by its commitment to a moratorium on nuclear testing. Me think you watch way too much Amazon Prime Video. Well, maybe. Oh, Jim, thanks for announcing the goal in time. Well, actually, we're 2 hours and 17 minutes in at this point, and we are $39 away, and we have 18 minutes left to go. Laser Shark. That's right, G-Shark laser. Yeah, that's what we need. The draft Pentagon report did not identify any potential target of reportedly nuclear-placed missiles. U.S. officials noted that the report could change before it's sent to lawmakers. The report said China's nuclear warhead stockpile was still in the low 600s in 2024, which reflected a slower rate of production when compared to the previous year. But the report added China's nuclear expansion was ongoing and it was on track to have over 1,000 warheads by 2030. China has said it adheres to nuclear strategy of self-defense and pursues no first-use policy. Oh, well, we're just going to have to take their word for it. Just going to have to take their word for it. Yeah. Rally. Come on, everybody, rally a few dollars. Shark-sized drone boats with laser-like weapons. Hell yeah. President Trump has said he wants the United States to resume nuclear weapons testing, but it's unclear what form it will take. They should test them on hurricanes, see if they can stop them. Beijing was refining its military options to take Taiwan by brute force, the report said, adding that one option could include strikes 1,500 to 2,000 nautical miles from China. In sufficient volume, these strikes could seriously challenge and disrupt U.S. presence in and around the conflict in the Asia-Pacific region. Uh-oh. So they're going to Pearl Harbor us is what they're going to do. They're going to Pearl Harbor us. That's what they're going to do. Right. See? China quietly loads 100 ICBMs into new missile silos. Wow. Near Mongolia. Let's see. Is this a...
The Chinese have advantages right now, or at least have a range of capabilities in mass building at mass and scale. But where they've got challenges on the military side, I mean, there are a number of them. One is that if you look at their defense companies, most of them are state-owned enterprises. And so we see massive inefficiency. The quality of the systems that they're putting out and platforms.
Oh, I get it. Laser shark do laser shark do laser shark do
big challenge I think they have of quality. There remain huge corruption problems within the People's Liberation Army and the industrial base more broadly. This has been a big focus of Xi Jinping's effort right now. Now, corruption in China, as you know, can also serve political purposes. So people that are not viewed as loyal to the Communist Party may be removed for corruption in quotation marks problems. But I think just the entire Communist Party system, I mean, the People's Liberation Army, unlike say the U.S. military or Western militaries, is first and foremost a military that is designed to protect the party, the Communist Party. And so, that means merit, for example, and promotions are often a function of party loyalty, which really feeds into corruption, not necessarily merit. In addition to those issues, we see plenty of challenges. The Chinese have not fought a war since the 1970s, and they didn't do that well during that period. And we see lots of challenges with their ability to conduct joint operations across different services. The Russians had this problem. That includes combined arms, challenges with the dual-hatted command and control structure within the People's Liberation Army. They have both a military commander and a political commissar. That creates a whole range of issues. They've got big power projection problems right now. They don't have a lot of basing as you get outside of the first island chain. So, there are a lot of other challenges, but those just give you a sense that for them to translate some of what they're building into actual military power, I think, at least in the near future, they would have some big problems, particularly outside of the first island chain against the United States.
Well, that's what he says. China quietly loads 100 ICBMs. No, I think rock the Casbah. That's what I was thinking of. That was the song I was thinking of. I can't think of. I'm trying to think of what that song was. It's driving me nuts now. I can't remember. Sharif don't like it. Rock the Casbah. The commissar. China's reportedly loaded more than 100 missiles. The Pentagon declined to comment when contacted by Fox News. 1949. Military vehicles carrying DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missile travel past Tiananmen Square. Okay, so that's that with that. Newsweek's the same thing. China loads over 100 nuclear missiles. Same thing from Reuters. Let's see what we got here. I wonder if the Trump ships will be nuclear propulsion. I know there are at least one icebreaker that is. I think they should all be nuclear propulsion because then they don't need to get oil. Otherwise, they got to get oil, and that's going to limit them. But that would be, that they should all be nuclear propulsion. It's so disrespectful when they call him Mr. Trump instead of President Trump. Yeah, it is. Well, we only know how to make hurricanes, not stop them. We know how to steer them pretty good too, from what I understand. They were working with dolphins when we lived at Port Magoo in the 60s. Yeah. Song time with Jim. Yeah. It's cool. This guy doesn't look unpaid. Yeah. Bella looks like she gained weight this week. Maybe. Are you suggesting striking a hurricane with a nuclear weapon to neutralize it? Sure. Uh-oh, look at Spuds comes through with some gifted memberships. It looks like it says vegans taste like chicken were gifted a membership, and then NASCAR Mo was gifted a membership. Let me see. Spuds gifted 5 memberships. Oh, thank you, Spuds. So it says, NASCAR Mo. And then, so that puts us at $14. Just $14 with those 5 gifted memberships. Just $14. If you haven't been in Rumble lately, you might want to go into Rumble chat and just say hi so you can get a membership, because Rumble only gives memberships to people that are in the chat. And there's still 3 sitting out there right now waiting to be collected. Right? So that leaves us now $14 away from the first additional hour. So yeah, over there on Rumble, The Clash. Yeah, that was a Clash song. Point Magoo, Navy Base. Let me fix her camera. But yeah, like I was saying, if you want to head on over to the Rumble there, you might get yourself a free membership from. Oh, wrong. What am I doing? How did I do that? Man, that's not good. What did I do? That's better. I had the wrong camera adjustment here. I was trying to adjust Bella. There we go. Let's see who else. Costa Rican expats in there. Let's see. He didn't get a membership yet. What's going on there with your? Oh, no, we got this from. We got another one. Jules coming in hot. Says gifted a membership over here on. That means we are now $8 away from the first additional hour of the show. So thank you all so much. Yeah, thank you, Jules. That puts us over the top. What do you mean that puts us over the top? Bill Dozer has read the stream. Thank you, Bill Dozer. And Costa Rican expat says thank you. Bill Dozer has rated the stream. And then Brian Ogden comes in with a gifted membership. Thank you so much. With that, that puts us down to $6 away. I mean, $2. I'm sorry. $2 away. What was I thinking? Bill Dozer received a gifted membership over there on. And then Audra comes in with the 2, finishing it off.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Wow, with that, we got our first extra hour of the show. That's right. And then also, so Bill Dozer got a gifted membership. And then Costa Rican expat got a gifted membership. And then Dominus Dank X received a gifted membership over there on the archive and long review. What's this? What's this? The Weekly Standard, Red China and Red Lines. Oh, this is old. Oh, you're talking about that was the crash between the Kitty Hawk and the Chinese sub. Whoop, whoop. All right. Well, thank you, folks. With that, I have to reset the banner because that means we are now $100 away from a second additional hour. Oh, now look at this. So we got a $5 super sticker from Misty Me 7. Thank you, Misty Me. Wow. So with that means us we are now $95 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much. Thank you, Misty Me. Thank you. Yes, thanks everybody for the rally. Thank you. I'll have to catch the last hour in the morning. It's way past my bedtime. What's the wink for? I don't know. Woot, wink. More ghetto clap infections reported. The rash can last 30 days. That's right. Sweet dreams. Brian Ogden. We lost 2 sets of patio doors during the launches. Well, you have to break if you're on a Chinese balloon. Please hit the like. Please subscribe. Sweet well, Jules. You have a good night, Jules. Sanglan says there's a toast for you. Night, Jules. Night, Jules. All right, cool. Let's see here. Yeah, lull to the Chinese balloons. That's right. Hope all is well. Good. So let's see. 21 Democrat-led states sue the White House over Consumer Protection Bureau funding. A coalition of 21 attorney generals from demon rat-led states sued the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and its director, Russell Vought, on Monday, asserting that the White House's argument to withhold funds from the CPB is unconstitutional. Well, what's this? Good night. What's this, Bill? Those are just something. Now I do have their commissar stuck in my head. Isn't that the song? That's right. Isn't that a song? Their commissar? Wasn't that by like... I'm losing it here. I'm losing it. By After the Fire. All right. I knew there was a song and I couldn't remember. Could not remember. By After the Fire, yeah. I could not remember. So, yeah. And then, the lawsuit has to do with the Trump administration's argument that they can only be funded by the Federal Reserve's profits. The Federal Reserve is running a loss since 2022, a side effect of the Fed's raising interest rates sharply to combat inflation because it holds bonds that pay low interest rates from the pandemic, but it needs to pay out the higher amounts of interest to banks that hold their deposits with the bank. 99 red balloons. Yeah. Al Istha Klar Herkar Commissar. Rock the Casbah. The White House has argued for several months that the CFPB cannot lawfully draw funds to fund its operations from the Fed if the Fed does not have combined earnings to allocate to the Bureau. Without additional funds, the CFPB expects to deplete its operating funds completely in January. He also did Rock Me Amadeus. Okay. Hit that repost. Rest in peace, Falco. Yeah. The Commissars in Town. Yeah, they're Commissars in Town. That's the song I'm thinking of. Original was from Falco. After the Fire covered it. Okay. Yeah. Lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court in Eugene, Oregon, seeks to force the Trump administration to fund it. We're asking the court to order them to seek available funds to do its job, said Rob Bonta. The phrase combined earnings is found in the text of the Dodd-Frank Act, the law that created them more than a decade ago. Legislators and policymakers from the time that was crafted argued that the phrase combined earnings was not meant to infer that the Fed needed to make an actual profit to fund the CFPB. The White House interpretation is being litigated in several lawsuits filed by the employees against Vought. Their commissar was like a one-hit wonder. That's what I thought. The Democrat AGs argued that the CFPB was lawfully created by Congress and they cannot pick and choose what parts of the government it wishes to fund or not. Well, if the law says they have to get funded from the Fed, then the Fed's got to pay for it, right? And the Fed's running a deficit. Defunding them, it will make it harder to stop predatory lenders. A spokesman for Vought did not immediately reply for comment. Same thing from AP. 21 Demon Rat states sue. So he's just another lawsuit. It's just always lawsuits looking to Falco. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, same thing from NPR. 24 states sue. And then this story is very upsetting to me when I read it. So look what it says. Jeanette Vizguera, detained immigrant activist, likely to be released in the coming days. You go, well, what's this all about? She was born in Mexico, has been in Aurora Detention Center since her arrest in March. All right. It says here, immigrant activist Jeanette is on the precipice of being released from immigration detention facility after an immigration judge ruled on Sunday that she could post bail. Denver immigration judge Bree Berge set the bail at $5,000. Yeah, that's right. How come no one ever sued Biden? Because the people doing the suing were running Biden, and then Dodd-Frank helped bring us to the housing crisis under HUD Secretary Andy Cuomo. That's right. That's right. That's right, folks. Okay. but she included no other restrictions like an ankle monitor. Her family intends to immediately post a bond. Her legal team said in a statement she likely won't be released for at least 24 to 48 hours. The program co-director says the ruling still means a mother of 4 children will be home by Christmas. The order comes 2 days after the legal team argued that the activist, who was born in Mexico and spent almost the last 28 years in the United States, posed no flight risk, was not a danger to the community. Okay, she was detained in Aurora Detention Center since March when she was arrested at her work. The legal team said Sunday they found Venezuela does not pose a danger to the community, nor does she pose a flight risk given her strong family and community ties. All right. Bail hearing took place Friday because an order of a separate judge last week. When her family posted bail, she will be released while her broader legal efforts to stay in the country and fight deportation play out in both immigration and federal courts. All right. She's an activist who received attention when she was sheltered in a Denver church for years during the President Trump's first term. So during Trump's first term, she was hiding in a church being sheltered because I have to fix the goal now and restart it over here. So I'm going to restart a goal in YouTube for another hour. Okay. All right. That's all done, right? That's all done. I think it's all done. All set up. All right, good. All right, she was named one of Time's most influential people in 2017. Earlier this year, while in detention, she won a humanitarian award from the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Organization. Yeah, release her on a plane to Kenya. That's what I was. Send her to Mexico and her family can visit her. Oh, yeah. Send her ass to CCOT, make headspin. Their supporters held regular vigils outside her home and detention center for months. Okay, so they're not going to say any of this stuff. They're not going to say who she is. All right, in this article. So we're going to have to go here and see what this says. All right. Actually, no, we're going to go here. AP. I think the AP has the story correct. She can't look at her family to Mexico. Yeah. So here she is, all right? She's an activist and stuff being released. So she's held on a bond. She gained prominence, right? She gained prominence when she took refuge in a church in Colorado to avoid deportation during Trump's first term. She was arrested in the parking lot of a Target store where she worked on March 17th. She came to Colorado in 97 from Mexico City and has been fighting deportation since 2009. 2009. This is 2025. So 16 years to deport somebody who has no legal right to be in the country? All right. After she was pulled over in a suburban Denver and found to have a fraudulent Social Security card with her own name and birthday and someone else's number. So she committed a federal felony. She needs to go. Did you cover this, Jim? The Jeffrey Epstein, Bear Stearns, the late 70s, the BCCI, and CIA Saudi upends roots. Yep, we covered all that. We played almost the entire thing. I think it was Friday night, the entire Mike Benz thing about it, and covered it all, which I think we had covered previously because it had to do also with the Clintons were also the whole thing with the Clinton. There was a Clinton thing in Arkansas when Clinton was governor of Arkansas when they were doing all the drugs and stuff and laundering money to. It was all through the BCCI too. According to the 2019 lawsuit she brought against ICE, she did not know the number belonged to someone else at the time. Where did she get the Social Security card from? Who did she think Yeah, they should arrest the people at the church too. Yes, they should. So she had a fraudulent Social Security card. She's just playing dumb with it. Her lawyer said ICE was attempting to deport her based on an order that was never valid and challenged her detention in federal court. How was the order never valid? What? She committed a federal crime. A federal judge recently ordered that a bond hearing must be held in immigration court to determine whether she should continue to be in a detention facility. In a statement released, the American Friends Service Committee thanked her lawyers. This case is bigger than me. Yeah, it is. It's a matter of fact, we have a fucking border in laws. Whether or not people who come here illegally and then break the law and use fraudulent documents, which is a felony, to work, get deported. Yeah, they should go to jail and then deported. Where's my manners? Hello, Jim and chat. Thank you, Potato Pie. Nice to see you. Disbar her lawyers, too. So, yeah. So this person who's been here since whatever and was working with a stolen Social Security number that someone printed. So it was like multiple levels of fraud, like printing a fake Social Security number, a Social Security card, a fake document. That's a serious felony, federal felony fraud. You know, that's like counterfeiting. We got this story that says, man who shot self at Atlanta airport faces charges. So this guy went to the Atlanta airport, shot himself, and then they arrested him. So it's, you know, which, you know, what did you think was going to happen? What is going on here? A man found with self-inflicted gunshot wounds at Jackson Hartsfield Airport. Can't we use letters of marque to take care of illegals and the people who protect them? I wish so. Yeah. Yeah, what? You don't get your Social Security card from Pacho in the alley behind the Foot Locker? That's what I'm saying. Like, she had no idea that it wasn't. Whose number did she think it was? If only we had an AG that wasn't worth it. Yeah. I'm guessing she wasn't picking crops. No. So, APD said they found him in the upper-level baggage claim area at 334 with a gunshot wound to his left arm. He was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm during commission of felony, and reckless conduct. Wow, so that's dumb maneuver. Dumb maneuver. Man shoots himself in Atlanta airport, police say. I just thought, shooting an airport, I thought I would cover it briefly. We got this story. Ted Cruz eyes 2028 bid. Vance showdown looms.
Going to be revoked. Now tonight from the Capitol, good to have you on, sir. 50% of Somali visas are fraudulent in Minnesota. That information just dropped yesterday at the cabinet meeting. It's a spectacular number. I guess my first question is, are these visas actually going to be revoked? Is something actually going to get done about this?
Well, look, I certainly hope so, and any visa that is fraudulent should be revoked. If you look at what has happened in Minnesota, there has been massive fraud to the tune of billions of dollars bilking the Minnesota taxpayers. Much of that has gone to fraudulent individuals in the Somali community who've been sending that money back to Somalia, and just came out recently, the single largest funder of Al-Shabaab, a radical Islamic terrorist group in Somalia, is the taxpayers of Minnesota through fraudulent money that was stolen from the taxpayers. And I got to say, the person in charge of it is Democrat Tim Walz. It is an absolute scandal, but it indicates exactly the kind of bankrupt policies that today's Democrat Party keeps pushing forward.
I heard today from so many different local officials in Minneapolis and in the state of Minnesota that Somalians are the backbone of the community there. The vast majority of these people, according to the White House, are on some form of welfare. Nobody refuted that claim, by the way, today at all, which tells you it likely is very true. There's almost zero assimilation. This is not the immigration of yesterday in this country anymore. We're bringing in liabilities into the country that are costing us a fortune, and it's done for political reasons, I believe, and it's decimating our bottom line. It's decimating our culture. And when asked about it, we hear that they're the backbone of our community without being given any reason why they are.
Yeah, look, those are empty Democrat talking points. If you look at the elected representatives, you've got Ilhan Omar, who is viciously anti-American, a radical leftist. You look up in Dearborn, Michigan, where you've got Rashida Tlaib. Same thing. You know, last year you had an entire mob in Dearborn, Michigan, chanting "Death to America." And Rashida Tlaib refused to condemn that. Ilhan Omar has been at rallies where people are proclaiming their loyalty to Somalia and proclaiming it over the United States of America. And that is dangerous. And those are both examples of radicals who favor open borders, who favor releasing criminals from jail, who are rabidly anti-Semitic, who are Marxists and hate free enterprise and capitalism, and who hate your rights and my rights. And it is dangerous. And I'll tell you, Rob, the frightening thing is that is no longer the fringe of the Democrat Party. Today, those radicals are the heart of the Democrat Party. They're driving their agenda. You look in New York City at Comrade Mandami, a communist and an Islamist, and that right now is where all the energy is in the Democrat Party, and that is tragic and it's dangerous.
Tragic and dangerous.
Certainly is. I want to switch and I want to talk about SNAP here for a second. Another big topic these days. The New York governor, Kathy Hochul, has refused, one of many governors, to refuse to release the names of those receiving SNAP in her state here in New York. There is so much fraud and so much is stolen from this. They don't want to release these names. Here's how she defended that decision today.
What they're saying in Washington is we just want the rolls of people that are on public assistance. You've been resistant about that. Several states have, by the way, more than 20. Why not just say, okay, here are the names of the recipients?
Let me tell you what's going on here. We actually went to court about this because people sign up for a particular program, not to have their name in a, think about, do you really want every bit of information about you in other parts of the government monitoring you?
That's not an answer. That's somebody pretending to care about privacy issues when in reality she's mortified of what will happen to her political party if we throw the millions of fraudulent welfare junkies off of the hind teat, which of course is their source of power. How many people can they get onto SNAP? How many people can they get onto support?
Well, Rob, I'm going to say something that's going to surprise you, which is actually I agree with Kathy Hochul, but in a way that perhaps she didn't intend, which is if she doesn't want to release the list of who in New York is getting SNAP benefits, that's great. The federal taxpayer shouldn't pay for it. She can burden New York taxpayers with as many fraudulent cheats as she wants, but if she won't give the names, why the hell does she want money from the federal government and she won't even tell them the names of who's receiving it? And it's because the Democrat Party, in an organized and systematic manner, supports fraud. We were talking about Minnesota a minute ago. 2 days ago, the Minnesota Government Employees Union put out a long statement on Twitter saying Tim Walz is 100% responsible for this multi-billion-dollar theft and fraud. I'll tell you, you look at something like Obamacare, there are 24 million Americans right now on the Obamacare exchanges. The estimates are 6 million of those are fraudulent. They're just bilking the taxpayers, and there's not a single Democrat in the Senate willing to do a thing about it. So if Kathy Hochul wants to embrace and defend fraudsters, knock yourself out. But I think the Trump administration should say you're not getting a penny of federal money until you produce that list.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's exactly right. I got 30 seconds left. I saw you at the White House today. Trump terminating Biden's corporate average fuel economy standards, the CAFE standards they call them, lowering the standards so automakers can sell more gas-powered vehicles, making new cars cheaper. Why was this so important?
Look, this is a big deal. It's going to lower the cost of cars by thousands of dollars, lower the cost of trucks by thousands of dollars. I authored the legislation in the Senate, in the one big beautiful bill that zeroed out these CAFE standards. And as a result, you're going to be able to get the car you want. It's your choice. You're also going to get safer cars because Biden's CAFE standards made automakers replace steel with plastic, which meant in accidents a lot more Americans died. And so what the president did today and what Congress did is going to save Americans' lives, and it's going to make cars and trucks a lot less expensive.
That's cool. So Ted Cruz reportedly is considering a 2028 presidential run, which could put him on a collision course with J.D. Vance. Cruz privately has been signaling to allies he's hearing growing encouragement to jump into the next open Republican primary as the party begins to look past President Trump's second term. Cruz's deliberations, the newspaper said, have intensified as he positions himself as a leading voice for more traditional, hawkish GOP foreign policy as he wages an increasingly public feud with influential MAGA figure Tucker Carlson. Cruz's flashpoint is Israel, which he described as a troubling rise in anti-Semitism and anti-Israel sentiments on parts of the right. I mean, people are just opposed to paying for stuff, I think. The Post detailed how Cruz has urged Republicans to repudiate Carlson, accusing him of spreading poison. They won't go down in price. People are conditioned to paying crazy prices now. Why lower them? Yeah. Carlson has rejected the characterization that the rivalry has turned personal since the heated June interview in which Cruz stumbled on basic facts Carlson pressed him on. But the politics beneath the feud are bigger than the personality clash. Cruz's attacks on Carlson have placed him on a potential collision course with Vance, Carlson's ally, and the figure many Republicans already view as the early frontrunner for 2028. Yeah, I have that story. We'll get to it. The Post reported that Cruz has privately criticized Vance's policy. Yeah, so they tripled it. As long as they leave before New Year's, they're going to get 3,000 instead of 1,000. At this point, AL will run the government in 20 years. Vance's policy views to donors, warning that he sees it as isolationism could weaken America's national security posture. That split highlights a larger fight in the GOP about whether America first means a restrained U.S. role abroad or a hard-edged peace-through-strength posture that aggressively backs allies and confronts adversaries. Cruz is effectively betting that Republican voters won't ultimately embrace a foreign policy that shrugs at Israel, downplays terrorism, and treats U.S. power as something to be shelved. The early maneuvering has also revealed who may clear the field for Vance and who may not. Vanity Fair recently reported Secretary of State Marco Rubio had said that he would not run if Vance enters the race, calling him the likely nominee and pledged early support. Rubio's comments, paired with Trump's public praise of both men, underscored how the establishment wing may try to consolidate around Vance unless a challenger such as Cruz can rally donors and activists uneasy with the party's populist drift. Cruz faces obvious hurdles. He's no longer an outsider. The memories linger from his bruising 2016 clash with Trump. Still, as the Post noted, Cruz has a strong name recognition, a national network, and a record of cultivating activists and donors. Axios reported last month that the center has been expanding his footprint through speeches, endorsements, and media platforms, laying the groundwork for another bid. In other words, the 2028 GOP race may be shaping up to be more than a standard succession fight. And I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. DHS offers illegal immigrants a $3,000 holiday stipend for self-deportation. The federal government is offering a $3,000 holiday stipend to encourage illegal immigrants to self-deport over Christmas. The small expense is far less than the cost of chasing and deporting migrants, and it comes amid growing economic pressure on migrants who are losing jobs and housing amid President Trump's enforcement of the nation's popular illegal alien laws. During the Christmas season, the U.S. taxpayer is so generous, tripling the incentive to leave voluntarily for those in the country illegally, offering a $3,000 exit bonus. But just until the end of the year, said Kristi Noem. Illegal aliens should take advantage of this gift and self-deport because if they don't, we will fine them, we will arrest them, and they will never return. Since January, 1.9 million illegal aliens have voluntarily self-deported. Really? That's 2 million have voluntarily self-deported, and tens of thousands have used the CBP Home App program. The statement added, self-deportation through the CBP Home app is the best gift that an illegal alien can give themselves and their families this holiday season. It's fast, free, and easy. Just download the app, fill out your information, and DHS will take care of the rest, including arranging and paying for your travel back home. I think for $3,000, I'll go to Costa Rica for a week. I now identify as an illegal. Those illegal aliens who don't take advantage of the special offer, the special offer just for you, for 1 week only. They will be arrested, deported, and will never be able to return. Reduced number of migrants will help raise Americans' wages, reduce their rents, and encourage sidelined Americans to seek jobs. It will also force the U.S. government and media elites to shift their focus from concerns of migrants and business groups to concerns of ordinary Americans who are facing crime, discrimination, and poverty. There is much evidence and numerous anecdotes that many migrants are self-deporting, but no firm data showing more than 1 million self-deportations. For example, thousands of Haitians and other migrants in the United States have crossed the border into Canada. The Canada Border Service Agency says it processed 31,977 total asylum claims through November, a 42% decline from the same period last year. But wait, there's more. You'll also get a free plane ride. Man films himself self-deporting to avoid being picked up and deported by ICE. They make us feel unwelcomed here. Yes. We're going to watch this. Ready?
Yo me cansé de la pinche migración que nos quieran echar y que la chingada. A mí no me van a agarrar ni me van a echar. Yo solo ya me voy. Ya me voy para mi país porque aquí lo hacen sentir a uno muy feo. Lo hacen sentir uno como si fuera uno terrorista o qué. Ahí lo andan persiguiendo uno como si fuera uno mala persona. Ya nos vamos, nosotros ya decidimos irnos solos de este país. A nosotros no nos van a agarrar ni nos van a echar. Nosotros ya decidimos pelarle solos.
At least he's taking all three of his chins with him.
Un consejo que les voy a dar, chingones, porque la cosa ya se puso que arde. Y nosotros pues ya, ni modo. Ya se nos acabó el corrido.
Tell him to speak
Ya se
American.
nos acabó el tiempo aquí en
Joe,
Estados
start
Unidos.
translating. Tell us what he's
Así
saying,
que
Joe.
nosotros
Remain in Mexico,
nos
vámonos.
despedimos ya de este país. Nosotros ya nos vamos, ni modo. El gobierno ya no nos quiso aquí. Ya mi compa trompitas de falopio ya no somos bienvenidos en este país, así que pues nos quieren sacar.
It's
Pues nos
slang
vamos a tener que ir
Mexican.
solos. Allá llevo todo el pinche tribu arreando y nomás. Voy a necesitar un pinche autobús para andarlos arreando, hijo de la chingada.
Yeah. Like it might be a guy that's just going on a vacation. He's pretending to be self-reporting, just taking a video, because that's like Joe says, it's slang Mexican. It's not like, damn it, I pressed one. In December, KOLD described self-deportation of a Colombian family after their father had been deported from Tucson, Arizona. From Tucson, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, L.A., Northern California is that woman. Yarlitas Goye Santos, the mother of 4 children, previously told 13 News that self-deportation was the best decision for her and her family. I don't have the words to express how grateful I am. I want to thank all the people that we met while we stayed here. He says that things are getting too hot here and he's tired of running, so now he's taking the whole family and leaving. He must have picked his own crops. You're right. I know that's what I was saying. Speak American. I can't understand what the hell he's saying. He could be selling a washing machine for all I know. I believe he's full of shit. He's just going on a trip, in your opinion. That's what I thought. Self-deport or be deported. Your choice. Well, we saw this one with the woman before. I'm not going to play it again. Illegal from Guatemala says she may have to move home with her kids since her husband got deported, waiting for work outside of Home Depot. I said, good. Oh, here we go. We haven't heard this one before. Let's hear this one.
This mother wants to be known as Maribel. She's not sure how much longer her 6-year-old will still be playing with these kids here at Esperanza Elementary School. Maribel is undocumented and now parenting on her own after her husband was detained while he looked for work outside a Home Depot. He's since been deported back to Guatemala. It's affecting their children, Maribel says as she speaks through the tears. The children have fear that makes them not want to go out on the street. But their 1-year-old daughter was born in the U.S., and so was their 6-year-old, who's now a first grader here. Right now, the district's enrollment stands at just over 409,000 students. That's down 4% from last year, 2% more than what was projected.
The projection for this year was off by a significant margin, and that margin is absolutely associated with federal immigration actions in our community.
For every single student, LAUSD brings in about $20,000 in state and federal funds used to pay for a variety of programs many students use and benefit from.
The loss is as high as $140 million for one single year. If that continues, then year after year, then we're talking about a significant impact to the budget.
When you tell your daughter that you may have to pull her out of the school and move her to Guatemala, what does she tell you?
que no se quiere ir.
She doesn't want to leave, Maribel says, but her daughter may have no choice. Maribel can't afford to keep living in LA much longer, so Esperanza is likely to lose one more student very soon.
I don't know why my white people keep acting this way. I don't know. I mean, they belong home. Go home. You belong home. Everyone should be at their home. What, you're too good for your home? The departure of economic migrants will pressure uncaring elites in business, politics, and government to help discarded Americans return to work. Guatemala, oof, that's tough. That country is shit. It feels like a system isn't broken. It's working against us. A young American with $10 left shares a home with 4 roommates, lives off granola bars, drives a car she can't afford to fix, and watches rent, bills, and basic necessities wipe out every paycheck. Yeah, let's see.
Boomers want to know.
Well, she should get rid of that nose ring. First of all, she would have a better job. I'll tell you right now, because I see someone with this nose thing in their ring, that thing in their nose. I'm like, oh yeah, you're not working.
What it's like being young in 2025? Here it is. I just got off an 8-hour shift at work where I make double minimum wage in my state. I hop in my car, check my banking app. Cool, I've got $50 to last me till next week. Then I remember, oh shit, I have to run to Walmart because the wire in my bra snapped. I don't have underwear because it keeps going missing. My eyelash curler broke, and I have no food. I bought 4 things.
Wait. Why the fuck does your underwear keep going missing? Who is stealing your underwear? Maybe that's the problem you should solve, first of all. Some weirdo is stealing your panties. You might want to get on that. You know, you might want to spend less on the nose rings and more on, like, protecting your underwear, putting a lock on your door. I don't know. Something is weird. You thank them for identifying themselves, the cattle ring. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, let me fix Bella's camera. Oh, man, I just noticed that. Wow, sorry, everybody. She's probably selling her used panties and farts in a jar. Yeah. Jim lives next to her. No, this woman is a joke. Her nose ring is too tight. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. The public school is losing budget because they can't inflate the numbers. Your favorite people in Miami were those that just said, my favorite people in Miami were those that just said their countries were so great that they were here for work. I always asked them if their country was so good, why they couldn't get a job there. So let's go back. Let's back this up.
My eyelash curler broke and my bra snapped. I don't have underwear because it keeps going missing. My eyelash curler broke and I have no food. I bought 4 things. 4 fucking things and it came out to $40. I'm living off granola bars. But I hop my depressed ass back in my car and I look at my banking app again. Oh cool, I've got $10 now to last me till next week. I try to drive, but my car keeps misfiring. I can't afford to fix that. So I keep on parking, turning off my car, turning it back on until it decides to act right. 30 minutes later, I'm finally heading home to my 4 roommates. I pay $8.50 a month. Now give him that's everything included. But $8.50 a month with 4 roommates! Remember back in the good old days when a man could afford to feed, raise, house his family on minimum wage? And he had a second family on the side.
Wow, a second family on the side.
Fed and raised. You know what I say to all that? Fuck you. You guys had it so fucking easy and then you destroyed everything behind you. Fuck you.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah. Hey, he goes, I can fix her. I'm in my early 20s. I work 14 to 18 hours a day. You lost me at nose ring. Wires and bras don't break. What a liar. She's got SSR eyes. She's got SSR eyes. Can't fix those hands. Yeah. That car looks really expensive, too. Look at the interior. Yeah, it looks like plush Corinthian leather. Wah. I want deep in my pockets and I found no fucks to give. That's right. Back in the good old days, we had roommates. Yeah. So, but yeah, 4 roommates, she's saying $8.50. So that's $1,700, right? So $8.50, so that's $1,700. So that's $3,400 a month they're paying. What are they renting a house or something? That's a lot of money. It's got to be a house. Being a grown-up doesn't seem to fit her well. She's probably got $2,000 a month car note and a $200 a month cell phone bill. Probably not on minimum wage. She's not on minimum wage. She's saying double minimum wage. She should stay away from strong electromagnets. Yeah, where was the other one that said? Meanwhile, I guarantee she has a couple of $1,000 in crappy tattoos up and down her arms. Probably. It's the pinche chinga that Guatemalan was talking about. Yes. She forgets people like her want all the immigrants that got her fucked up because that ruins the economy. Look in the mirror, sweetheart. Yeah. What is she buying? It costs $10 each. I don't know. He goes, shoot, I pay $1,400 a month for 500 square feet. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. I don't know, man. I don't know how. I don't know how you guys do it. Ugh. All right, just to keep everybody abreast of the situation. All right, we are currently, and I don't want to do this. I'm not like we are currently $95 away from a second hour. We got 30 minutes left, just so everyone knows. I'm not saying I'm not begging or anything. I'm just saying to keep everybody abreast of the situation. Dollar store underwear, maybe. Her nose tingles when she goes under high tension power lines. She needs a better job. She says she makes double the minimum wage. I'm wondering, she probably lives in like California or New York or Illinois or somewhere where the minimum wage is like $15, $18 an hour. She's probably making $30 an hour or something. She just wastes her money on something. Standard price for a one-room apartment in Michigan is $1,400. Yeah. Thank a Democrat and a rhino for the economy. Men could never afford a family on minimum wage before Democrats encourage women to work and create dual income families. It's not men's own fault. You know, men's could afford it. Yeah. It's not men's fault. It's not. It's not. On the streets of Los Angeles, mostly without changes, life goes on as usual. The streets are full of garbage, drug addicts, and homeless people. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to get struck, but I did see something today. Let me bring this up real quick before we get into this other story. I did see something today that, like, I was like, what? Like, I saw something that I want to show. Let's do this real quick here. Shocking new video has emerged of former Nickelodeon star. My stepbrother was a software engineer, lived with four other software engineers at a two-bedroom apartment in California a few years ago. The rent was $5,000 a month for a crappy apartment. That's the whole reason California prices are so crazy, is because they have like 20 million illegals there. Like in California alone, they have like 20 million illegals. It's crazy. So this guy worked as the Nickelodeon star Tyler Chase, who played the character Martin in the acclaimed TV show Ned Declassified, sparking mass calls for him to get the desperate needs he needs. This is what Hollywood does to people. Look at this is the kid. This is the kid right here. All right, and that's him now. You run into a former child star. Look at him.
Did you play on Disney Channel? Nickelodeon. Oh, Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
What show is it again?
Ned Declassified School.
Oh yeah, you were that kid on it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you. Yeah.
This is sad. This is sad, man. Sad. So sad. And Gnome for the holidays. DH chief offers 3,000 bonus to illegal migrants if they self-deport by December. I just thought that was a funny show. Yeah. This is sad. Tyler Chase needs help. He does. He was a great actor. He was pretty. I remember the show. He was actually pretty decent in it. He had chops. He wasn't like just a kid actor that was like. He seemed like he had. I don't know. I paid $1,400 for a one-room apartment in Canton, Michigan. It was full of appliances, including a washer dryer. It was 900 square feet with 2 pools and a gym. This is going to date me. Well, not really, because it wasn't even that long ago. The last apartment that I had, that I paid for, the last apartment I lived in, it was in but just south of Chicago in a suburb, it was $1,200 a month. It was 2 bedrooms with a full kitchen, dining room, living room, and everything. It was $1,200 a month. I don't know. For a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, I paid $1,800 a month in college in Hawaii. Yeah. Well, that's because Hawaii, it's like a college town. You know, like where I'm at now, rents are crazy. It's crazy what they pay down where I'm at now. Crazy. Like for down where I'm at now, like just for a single room studio, they want over $1,000 a month. Like a single room, no kitchen, no nothing, just a studio apartment with like a hot plate thing. Gnome for the holidays. I thought that was funny, so I wanted to bring that up. Gnome for the holidays. You know, this just says DHS raises the deportation bonus to $3K. DHS encourages illegal aliens to go home for the holidays with $3,000 stipend. I'm gonna have to open a few more tabs. Jim, I paid $500 for a 2-bedroom in Miami's Little Havana today. Same apartment, $2K. Yeah. Michigan rent went up 40% since the vid. You know, it's mainly being driven by the immigration. These people coming in and paying, and they're willing to put. You know, they put a whole bunch of people. I looked at the listing price for my apartment 6 years ago, and it was $750. Yeah. So Steve Bannon unloads on Ben Shapiro at TPS USA's AmFest, but Shapiro is like a cancer and that cancer spreads. Ideological civil war inside a conservative movement exploded on the AmFest stage Friday night with Steve Bannon unloaded on Ben Shapiro. So here's the thing, like it is a civil war inside the conservatives, I guess you could say that, but it's not a civil war inside of MAGA because Ben Shapiro has never been MAGA. That's what they got. Ben Shapiro has never been MAGA. He's never been a Trump supporter. He's never been a populist. He's a neocon to the bone. Neocon, Ben Shapiro. So they can't say it's a MAGA civil war if it's Ben Shapiro fighting with anybody because Ben Shapiro has never been MAGA. They also tried to say like Megyn Kelly somehow involved, but Megyn Kelly wasn't MAGA until like recently. Like maybe she's MAGA. I don't know. Like in 2016, she didn't support Trump. Through Trump's first term, she didn't support him. Yeah, the only people calling it a civil war are neocons and Democrats. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a high school clique battle. Yeah. So during his Thursday address, Shapiro castigated conservatives who declined to publicly condemn Candace Owens, saying their silence amounted to cowardice, and widened the blast radius by sweeping at Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and Steve Bannon as well. Yeah, little Ben is Israel first. Yeah, you guys know I got to get more money in Israel. We got to get Israel. Shapiro is the stereotype. Yeah. He dedicates his speech at TPS USA to talk how to discern those attempting to speak truth from grifters and fraudsters. I guess we'll watch some of it.
But today, I want to talk about something even more important. How to discern those attempting to speak truth from frauds and grifters. Because something is new. An informational environment rife with both opportunity and chaos. Opportunity because the legacy media gatekeepers are no longer in charge of what we see and what we hear. And chaos because an anarchic informational environment means we actually have to be smart in how we assess the information and arguments that we hear. Why does that matter?
Did we get a raid or something on YouTube? Because I see a jump, like a pretty sharp jump. I mean, we're only at, it's not that many viewers, but it seemed like it jumped like 10 or 15 people real quick that I didn't notice. So if we got a raid, thank you. If someone raided us, I didn't know about it. Green Siren raid. Oh, Third Rallify raided us. Okay. There we go. Third Ralify is rated to stream. Well, thank you, Third Ralify. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Carpetbagger Ben, yes. Said the anti-Semite carpetbagger. What's up, Rocky? How you doing? Great to see you. 10 or 15. Okay. Jim, Gina said she didn't like your closet door. I don't know what she meant. She said she didn't like your closet door. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. My closet door. I don't know what that means. I can't trust anyone who says they love America as long as we take care of Israel or any other country. I have nothing against Israel, but can't deal with that crap. Yeah, good to see all you for rain, and thank you, Cassandra29, and everybody who came in. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Definitely, Third Ralify is a good channel. I've been on their show. I'll be on their show again sometime soon. Shorty says, I don't know what that means either, Jim. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not. Shapiro also criticized Tucker Carlson for an interview with Nick Fuentes. Carlson responded with his own counterpunch moments later, and Kelly followed by a swipe of her own the next day. So I think, I don't know. I mean, is Tucker Carlson still MAGA? I mean, he said a lot of things that I would say would make him not MAGA anymore, like basically like taking up for all the Muslims. Like, it's not really MAGA. Muslim MAGA, kind of not the same thing. My opinion. That's my opinion. I don't know.
I think that he died.
You say still? Was he? I mean, I think he was during the first Trump term, sort of. I mean, he said all the right things. He seemed like he was for populism. He seemed like when he had the show on Fox, he seemed to be like MAGA light, at least. He's now make the Muslim Brotherhood great. Oh, Tucker is now Muslim Brotherhood great again. Okay, yeah. Tucker, Ben, crazy Candace, I appreciate if you vote for conservatives, but all of you need to shut the fuck. Yeah. Yeah, Tucker Carlson has gone down that Candace Owens route. It's just weird now. It is. He's always stank to me. MAGA has go up to by people that were literally never Trump. Yeah, I know. Like Ben Shapiro was never Trump. Ben Shapiro and his people are like, I will never, National Review. Those people will never vote for Trump. Vote for these people. Yeah, I trust none of these clowns. Yeah, he washed out of the CIA. Well, his dad was CIA. Tucker Carlson. Tucker is just a guy who does interviews and stuff. I mean, really, that's why I didn't know, like, to say MAGA. I don't know, yeah. Like, Q-Ed-Wa says. Tucker is just a guy who does interviews, some of them with interesting people. Yeah, like, I am not a big Nick Fuentes supporter. I think he's, whatever. I mean, I think some of the points he makes are valid points about some stuff, but some of the stuff he talks about is like, why would you say that? You're just causing more problems. And he says stuff like, what are you doing? But someone interviewing him, I don't see how that's a reason to cancel anybody for talking to someone, for trying to get them to actually state what their opinions are and get facts out there. I think it's very likely Nick Fuentes might be a Fed, might be put up by the Fed, like the government just to like stir shit up and cause problems. I mean, it's quite possible. Yeah. I don't get any argument that tells society to adjust to every foreigner. It's intentionally crazy, like the social experiment for Soros's ilk. Yeah, that's not what I say. Tucker's dad was a television personality, and the Carlsons don't have TVs in their house. Yeah. Tucker ripped his britches with this stance. Yeah. They don't have to prove who he was a free American. Tucker brought profit in Qatar. Yeah. Shapiro's subscribers have halved in the last few years, even with the bot followers. Yeah, they've lost a lot. Nick Fuentes is a clown, but he's willing to debate. Yeah. I mean, I watched the interview with Tucker and Nick Fuentes, and honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Nothing at all. I thought it was a good interview. I thought it was he says, shoot, I would say that about Tucker Carlson. I don't know. I mean, Ben is losing a lot of money in viewership. He is crashing out. All these influencers are jockeying for position in the post-Trump world. Yeah. So Megyn Kelly responds to Ben Shapiro. I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement, which shows a willful blindness to the position at seat. Here's my thing, too, is like, honestly, before this 2020 Trump run, or 2024 Trump run, I wouldn't have thought Megyn Kelly was a conservative. I thought she was a liberal, especially when she went to work for NBC, right? Or ABC, wherever she went, ABC, NBC, wherever she went. I do not want Sharia law in this country. Some cultures do not assimilate. Yeah, I agree. Nick is a very sharp guy, or sharp guy. I'm sorry. Nick is a sharp guy, but I think he is likely a Fed. Yeah. I mean, that's what I would, if I had to bet money, if I was forced, like a gun to my head, say, what, bet right now, put your money, what is Nick Fuentes? I would say Fed. Maybe he's not. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying that's where I would put my money. So, Sunshine says, thank you, Jim and Chad, for keeping me company as I made more bets at Christmas cookies. I wish I could share them with you all. Well, I do have a P.O. box. You could ship me some if you really wanted to in a tin, and I would eat them on camera. Me neither, except for the part about how he likes Stalin or Marx. Can't remember who he said. He said Stalin. He said that, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he says things purposely to cause shit. Like, why would you say something like that? Why? Like, you know. And so just to keep everybody informed on the time, we are about 10 minutes away from the end of the show-ish, and we are still $95 away from a second additional hour. So I think that's a wrap. I don't buy the whole Fed thing. This is propaganda to discredit him because he didn't go to jail for J6. People assume he made a deal because he made a deal. He's a Fed. Well, maybe he made a deal then. I don't know. I'm just saying it's, the amount of pressure and the amount of free publicity that people are giving him, to me, is. Megyn Kelly's a New York City Republican. She's far from conservative. Yeah, I could DM you my address. Make sure they are warm. Yeah. Damn, me loves cookies. All the belly aching and pearl clutching over Nick Fuentes made me listen to him more. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I that made me listen to the interview because people were saying this stuff. And you know what I found? I was like, I don't see a problem with it. I don't. The system succeeded at demonizing, pointing out good points, and subconsciously handicaps. Plus I think a lot, honestly, I've roundly refused to play this game of pledging allegiance to. I agree. Yeah. Don't pledge allegiance to these celebrities. All right, height, all night, all have work tomorrow. All right, well, take care. So, like, I don't pledge allegiance to anybody. Why are they giving him so much attention? That's the thing. Why?
You mentioned him, and your name came up on this stage last night in regards to pretty much all of this. Would you like the opportunity to respond?
Well, I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement, which shows a willful blindness about his position in it. It reminded me a little of when the girl who was the head of our middle school chorus told me she was going to take all my friends away from me. Chorus? A head cheerleader maybe, but so I resent the whole thing. I object to the whole thing. Ben and I, he had the nerve to call me a friend right before he called me a despicable coward for not calling out the people he once called out. So he both wants to parent me and be my child. He wants to tell me what I have to do and who I have to say what to. And then when I don't, he and some of his friends want to act like utter victims because I won't do what they say. They need me. I have to be their daddy and step in to protect them. And I am not their daddy. And I resent that he thinks he's in a position to decide who must say what to whom and when. Thank you. So I don't think we are friends anymore. I've been a very good friend to Ben. Nobody knew who the heck Ben Shapiro was when I started putting him on my shows on the Fox News channel. And I helped make him a star. And I've been very, very good to Ben over the years, and he's been good to me too. He just recently came on my tour, as did you, and I gave him the most.
I think that's a subtle way of saying that that she does the pegging around there. Maybe she's really pegged them or something. Never forget the campaign Megyn did on her Fox News show against Trump. Yes, I know she claims to like him now. Candace did the same. Just saying, stay alert. That's what I'm saying. I don't trust none of these people. Oh, snap. Shots were fired. That's right. Yeah, how much longer on this topic? Not long. We're getting past it. Yeah, Grandpa Genghis. We're getting past it. So the whole turning point event became a shameful, petty throwing of insults. Charlie Kirk would be appalled. Yeah, so I was going to go to... yeah, I'm not going to watch that. Let's see here. There's an article from Washington Times. It says, Turning Point showcases the discord that Republicans like Vance will need to navigate in the future. Yeah, Ben Shapiro was behind the Never Trump DeSantis campaign. Yeah, everybody sucks. They do. The whole Turning Point thing became shameful petty. Yeah. So, that's what they're saying. That's what they're doing. This is just all. This is just helping the Democrats. That's all it is, in my opinion. There was some good points though, like Tulsi Gabbard goes off on Islamism. It's a brutal wake-up call for Americans before it's too late. So the speech by Tulsi Gabbard is a much watch. It was full of truth and a needed wake-up call. Tulsi Gabbard's going off on Islamism. Patterson, New Jersey is proud to call themselves the first Muslim city. They are working to implement these Islamic principles forced on people through laws or violence. This is already underway in places like Houston. It's already happening here within our borders. The bottom line is the threat of Islamism. There is no such thing as an individual liberty. As Charlie said, it's fundamentally incompatible with our nation's foundational freedom. Jim, don't get me wrong. I've been watching Megyn since she was Megyn Kendall. So Joe Camel was the last cool guy ever. All of this is so fake, it could have been done privately. Yeah. Tulsi's speech was excellent. I'm not going to be Megyn Kelly, whatever. She's still hot looking. Like, she's still very attractive. And she's like 60 maybe or 50 something. We understand our freedom comes from God and no one else. We understand our seriousness of the Islamist threat. It's time to wake up, Westerners. Well, let's hear it from the DNI, Director of National Intelligence,
which issued a call to action to use American legal and political systems to implement Sharia law. This is already underway in places. This is already underway in places like Houston. This is not something that may possibly happen. It is already happening here within our borders. Patterson, New Jersey is proud to call themselves the first Muslim city. They are working to implement in their own governments these Islamic principles that are forced on people through the use of laws or violence. The bottom line is this: when we talk about the threat of Islamism, this political ideology, there is no such thing as individual freedom or liberty. As Charlie said over and over again, it is fundamentally incompatible with our nation's foundation of freedom. And at its core, when we understand that our freedom comes from God and no one else, we understand the seriousness of this Islamist ideology threat, because it means they deny that God is the one who has bestowed this right to freedom in every one of us.
Oh, that was pretty good. We got this. Byron Donalds. I want to address this real quick. She said, we didn't play white or almost white. I don't have any. I didn't have anything for that tonight. I didn't find anything. For whatever reason, everything was stuff we talked about Saturday night, which I didn't want to go over the same stuff again. So it's 3 years away. Just more open borders, isms, politicians staying away from American values. Newport menthol were pretty good too. Haven't touched them in 20 years. That's what I smoke, Newports. Forgetting about politics, I don't think I'd be stranded on desert island with any of them. I have nothing in common with them. We have nothing to talk about. Well, I wouldn't want to. Never mind. That's ignorant. I won't say that. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to. So Rep. Byron Donalds warns of the Democrat socialism and Sharia law. Byron Donalds spoke at AmFest on Sunday, warning of the dangers of democratic socialism and Sharia law. If you think we're coping and seething is the path to victory, you're fooling yourselves. How about the Georgia ballot story? We talked about that the other day. We talked about that the other day. Keep FAFO, Islam will enslave us all, and all the feminists will look the same models. Yeah, I don't know. The Georgia ballot story, I don't know what's there. All they're saying is they didn't certify something. Now, I don't know what's going to come of it. I mean, in my opinion, that means the election was stolen for sure. That's proof. I think Rudy Giuliani should get his money back from the lawsuit because that means those poll workers that sued him because they said they were defamed, they lied. And that evidence should have been presented in court, and Giuliani was correct. Now, when I stopped smoking Newports, the bums in Chicago stopped asking me for squares. Life hack. Yeah. Nothing criminal has happened. Technically, they just didn't certify stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're trying to claim. The difference, though, is that they found duplicate ballots as well. Well, something's going to have to happen. They're going to have to do something. Like, the problem is you have a rhino, establishment governor, Kemp, and his Ratsberger, Secretary of State, that they're playing games too, helping them out. They whatever. So, FYI, Megan is 55 years old. Well, I knew she was in her 50s or 60s. I knew that. So, but 55, I mean, she still looks really good for 55. Like, would. The path to victory is united based around core principles. So let's hear Byron Donalds, who I have to, Democrat, social, and radical Sharia. I have to, full acknowledgement. I know Byron Donalds. I've met Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds has been to my house. Okay. I like Byron Donalds.
If you really think that coping and seething is the path to victory, you're fooling yourselves. I've been in the conservative movement for 15 years. Here's what I know. The path to victory is a movement united based around core principles that knocks doors, that goes speaks to voters, that registers them to vote, and gets them out to the polls. That's victory. Victory is finding leaders who stand by these principles. And do you agree with them every single time? No. But you agree with them far more than we will ever agree with the radical Democratic left. Because democratic socialism is the thing that will destroy America. Radical Sharia is the thing that will destroy America. Stealing puberty from young people is the thing that will destroy America. And so what I choose to do now is I choose to build a movement and be a part of a movement that stands on principle, that stands on strength, that loves the people in the movement, even sometimes when they piss you off, but has a spirit of self-discipline. Because what I know is you can't form a winning unit if you can't stay focused on the mission at hand.
That's right. If you can't stay focused on the mission at hand. Well, everybody, I heard Byron say something totally wrong the other day, but I forgot what it was. I'm tired. Sometimes he says stuff wrong. I mean, I don't agree with 100% of everything he says, but you want to see what will happen if we don't get this Islam stuff in check? Just look at Iran. It's a perfect example. Yeah. I hate to say I have to agree with Phil here. I hate to break it to everyone, but nothing is going to happen because of it. I think, if anything, Giuliani might have a case, but nothing's going to change. And the same thing with the Minnesota fraud. Nothing's going to happen. Same with the New York refusing to release information on staff benefits, on the SNAP benefits, even though the court has ordered it. Nothing's going to happen. Yeah. SNAP benefits. I got you. You want to see what happens? Yeah. So you look it up and tell you, all right. He said one thing that is correct. Knocking doors, making calls, registry votes, what wins. The rest is gay kayfabe. That's right. I want to thank everybody who's been here. All right. I want to tell you all that I wish you all, if I don't see you, I think I will have a show tomorrow night for sure. And then maybe Wednesday too. We'll see what happens. I'll have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah. You know, if you celebrate that, if you celebrate, you know, if you want to have a fantastic Festivus or a crazy Kwanzaa, I'll say, okay. But please hit like, please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a comment. You know, let me know what you think, what I can improve on, what could be better. And I want to thank you all for being here and say that, you know, from me to you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. You know, have a fantastic Festivus and a crazy Kwanzaa. And all that good stuff. And smack that like button. And I'll send you all over to see Pat Dixon. I don't know if you want to check him out or not. Tell him I said hi. He's got a bunch of people watching. I don't even know what he's talking about tonight. But wow, I'll see ya.